Hey guys, welcome to Feature Creatures DTF. I am one half of your host, Jordana, and joined by me, as always, is my pod BFF, Sam. Hi.
Hello, Jordana. How you doing?
I am full, I'm not hangry, and I am excited to be here tonight.
Me too.
Yes.
Me too.
Yes, we've been MIA, and that is all. I will take all that responsibility and all that cred. I apologize for that, and I'm just happy that we're back at it. But we kind of like analyzed, discussed a new format to make it easier. So we are producing content and we're still doing our thing. So we're going to move our episodes to one episode a month for now, with some personalized content between Sam and I.
Mhm.
And then hopefully 2025, we will grab this pod by the horns and we can just go full throttle. So that's where
Yeah.
we're at right now.
So we want to be regular, but we were being a little inconsistent. So we're trying to pull off the gas for a minute. We'll schedule one a month, with some stuff in between. Whatever. And then I might be a little more frequent on the page. I might still pop in and do some videos. I've been doing like short movie reviews on my page. So I might do some of those, but just be on the lookout for us and still keep us in your thoughts because we're gonna be around.
Yes, I know people do think about us, and I know that people still listen. So that's great, and we appreciate you guys supporting us and being here since the get-go. And it's always just really fun when Sam and I connect and talk, because it's just like we picked up from where we left off. I feel like whenever we, like, even if we don't have an idea for the show, and it's not like we run short of them, but sometimes we're just like, what are we gonna talk about? It just comes so natural to us. Like, we're
just buddies.
Yeah, we're buddies. This is like what a friendship is.
Yeah, I mean, like, we haven't done one of these now in 2 months. We turned the camera on before we started. We were just ready to roll. So,
Yeah.
and I'm having fun already. And there's been so much that we've not really gotten to talk about. We've talked about it maybe with one-on-one with each other, but not in this format.
Yes.
And there's all kinds of stuff going on. As far as movies that we've seen and movie news and all kinds of crazy crap going on with movies.
Oh, yeah.
So I feel like we got to catch up.
We do. And we have a lot to address in a positive and negative way, because we had a little bit of a negative interaction, not between each other, but just with some big franchise horror news that Sam stumbled upon and sent to me that literally almost ruined my fucking day.
I like the way you worded that. Like, there's a negative interaction, not between us. And I'm like, in my head, for some reason, I'm like, what did I do? Like, I was like, did I just did I send a picture of like just giving you the finger or something? Like,
I heard you talking shit about me to Ripley. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. By the way, here's your day. Scream 7 sucks.
And you know what? It's not even like I hate being that person that jumps to conclusions when things come out, but I am so just like, I think I was already done with Scream 7 before it started, right?
Yeah,
like,
I mean, we both are.
Yeah, we came to terms with that. We're not ever going to get a Sam conclusion. It's just going to be what it was. But now they're saying that this movie is going to be like Sydney's movie, and it's going to be in the style of another final gal that we know, Laurie fucking Strode. And it's like, can you think of some, can the thing that I loved about Scream was the originality, right?
Yeah. Sorry. I'm like, either a jet is going by or it is pouring rain. I can't decide.
Let's see. Hopefully it's not a jet coming and
But yeah, specifically, was Neve Campbell was interviewed and said that the story structure for this franchise going forward has taken a lot of inspiration from Laurie Strode, specifically Laurie Strode from the 2018 not a reimagine, this Halloween 2018, which when I saw that, I was like, I already wasn't excited for this. And like, I don't know, man. Like 2018 is okay. I mean, honestly, it's okay. But like that whole fucking trilogy is a dumpster fire. And like, that's not one I want anybody taking any sort of like, that should be a cautionary tale. My God, Ripley.
He had to make his appearance, Sam. We haven't done this in 2 months, so he's literally biting at the chops to like make his appearance known. And I'm so happy because I was gonna say, where the hell is Ripley?
No, he's just DJing over there.
Yeah,
DJ
Scratch.
So, what are your thoughts on the taking the inspiration from our old buddy David Gordon Green's wonderful trilogy, Halloween?
So here's my take on this. I really enjoyed 18 and I liked Laurie's angle because I felt like we've never really seen a fighter side, like we did see a fighter side with Laurie, but we never saw this like vulnerable, woman who has, and it's like the thing that I appreciated about 18 was the true sense of like your trauma. You know what I mean? Like you could tell that like, obviously it's affected her for this long of a time. With Sydney, we've already seen this. Like we've seen her in Scream 3 being the telephone operator that has the alias. And you know what I mean? Like, I don't understand why they're going down this avenue when they could have thought of something so much more creative in bringing Sydney back. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like they're kind of, you know what I mean? Okay. So Melissa Barrera's fired. So we're just going to get Nev. Like, it just seems like it's
desperate.
Yes. And I don't like it. And I don't see where they're going to benefit from taking notes from Laurie's.
I mean, I don't want to jump the gun because we'll get to it, but let's allude here. Yes, bringing back a character whose story has already been told and injecting them back into a franchise smells of desperation. Looking at you, Disney.
Yes. Yes.
But yeah, I'm with you. And like you said, I didn't even think about that, but like, which I'm glad you said that, Jordan. Like, Sydney already was a badass. Her transformation had already happened. I mean, honestly, it kind of happened at in my opinion, at like the end of 2. And technically, I mean, you could argue at the end of 1. I mean, she does win. But she really becomes sort of like a little more cold, badass chick at the end of 2.
Yes.
So it's like, she's just going to become like, I mean, obviously this is just one pull quote from Nev. Who knows what this really entails? I don't know. Do I really want to see? I mean, I guess by all means, the character has the right to be a seclusive person in the woods who's a psycho, because every single time she ever comes out of her house, someone tries to stab her.
Absolutely. It's like you can't, every stage of her life, a teen, a college student, and an adult, like this, I would be the same way. I'd be fucking Instacarting. I would be doing all that shit, like
I wouldn't live in America anymore. Like,
yes. And you know what?
I would go somewhere where like they don't like movies.
Okay. So that would be like Serbia. No, I'm just kidding. But
like a village in the Congo.
Yes. Is it wrong of me to kind of wanted like a relocation, like possibly something as severe as like being in Canada, or like that made it seem like she's done with the fucking US of A because it's the US of Ghostface.
Well, I presume that in this, because at the end of 5, her last one,
yeah,
I don't think they said where she lived. Like they just called her and they showed her like walking her baby or whatever. Yeah. I kind of presumed that this movie is not going to take place in Woodsboro. If this fucking bitch is still coming to Woodsboro, then she deserves to get got.
That, and like, okay, another thing that I completely agree, but I just mean like, I don't know. I don't know. It's just very upsetting to me. And the other thing that she said, and I lost it. What did she say? Oh my God. I'll have to come back to it because it was something that was like a quote from her that literally just pissed me off so much. And it was about, fuck, I don't remember.
You're the one who always says the Scream news. I try to avoid it just because I don't give a shit anymore. And it's always bad. I never like, since the Melissa Barrera firing, it's never once was I like, ooh, I mean, maybe that the writer was directing it, I guess maybe, but like I never once was like, every time like someone sends me a Scream article, I'm never like, woohoo. I'm always like, God damn it. Like,
I know, because it's like that lingering person that just won't go away, and you're too nice to tell them to like fuck right off.
and I'm again, I don't read this stuff as much as you do, but you're sort of the one who you're like my filter for this shit. You're like,
Yeah.
this is worthy enough to send, and you send it my way. But
Yeah.
I thought, if I'm correct, did I not read that she also said that this is a planned another trilogy?
Oh, okay. Yeah, we discussed that. I think I sent that to you where she said it was going to be another like 3 movies or something like that. And
How many movies does this girl need to tell the story? It's a guy in a mask with a knife.
and that's the thing though, is like it will never end, because you could do this like connected like touch hole forever. And it's like that was cool up until like, for me, 3. And then you kind of lost me at the rest of them, because I just felt like it was literally grasping at straws. But the other thing that I saw, and mind you, I'm not like searching for this stuff. I followed like Scream pages on Instagram because I love seeing the like nostalgic, like all that stuff. Yeah. But I did see, which I like it because it does give us the ins and what the fuck's happening, that this one, they're saying that there's going to be multiple, like, and it's like, okay, but you did 3 and fucking 6.
Multiple Ghostface.
Yeah, that was like horrible. Like Sticks was so much fun to watch, and it made me feel like a flame in here, because my Scream ignition was out. The igniter was out. But like, for you to tell me that there's going to be, so now you give us 3 shitty Ghostface killers. Now you want to give us like 5, so you're just going to keep diluting their fucking importance and just give, like, you're going to have 10?
Dude,
I don't get it.
That's just, I feel like that's lazy Hollywood. That's like how Hollywood always thinks. Like I recently went back and rewatched like the Tim Burton Batman movies.
Yes.
Fucking great. But like,
oh yeah.
It's exactly like how like you know, in one is a very simple movie.
Mm-hmm.
Batman versus Joker. Boom.
Yeah.
And then in the second one, they're like, oh, okay, well, now we got to have multiple villains. So we got to have, you know, Penguin and
Catwoman.
Catwoman, and there's also a politician who's evil. And then in the next one, we're going to have Two-Face and, you know,
the Riddler
and the Riddler and this guy. And then in the next one, we're going to have Arnold Schwarzenegger and this guy and this guy and this guy. It's like, okay, you got to just like, more is not always better. There is a law of diminishing returns here.
Yes. And thank you, because like I can take like a villain and then give me like 2 good ones. Like, I will say this, and I was going to talk about this one later on when we're talking about actual movies, but I love Batman Forever. I don't know what it is about it, but I grew up on it. I loved it so much.
Is that the Val Kilmer one?
Yeah, with Jim Carrey.
I actually quite enjoy that. I honestly, just truthfully, I even enjoy old Bat Nipples and Arnold, like, just because it's insane. But like, those are all very fun movies.
They're a good watch. Like, if you want serious Batman, you know, people would say they would go towards the Christopher Nolan. Yeah. But like, there's just something about it. I love. There's some dark moments too in Batman Forever. We'll talk about that later, but they're fun movies.
Yeah.
But like you said, sometimes like less is more. Like, we don't need a plethora of fucking ghost faces if they're just going to be random people from the street. You know what I mean? Like, but now I'm at the point where I might actually enjoy that motive instead of it being Richie's fucking second cousin and Richie's mother's hairstylist. You know what I mean? Like,
here's the thing I'll say. Maybe you know more, but you're 100% right. For 6, 3, like, I think they're like, we got to have 3 killers because we've never had 3 killers. Yeah. Except I think you 100% could have just had Dermot Mulroney be a solo killer and it would have played out just the same.
I would have been fine with that.
Maybe the daughter. But here's the thing. I can name every single other Ghostface by name. Do you know one of those motherfuckers' names?
Who?
Any of the 3 from 6.
Oh, oh
I
my
don't
God.
know any of. I know. I'm like Dermot Mulroney. I don't know his fucking character's name though.
Oh my God. Well, the redheaded chick. Oh my God. What was her name? So I'm thinking of like the scene when they all come up and they're like telling him like, we're so sorry about it's an A name. I can't even remember. I can't even remember.
See my point though? Like we're huge fans of the franchise. They like up to the now there's 3 killers, but were they really impactful? We don't even know their fucking names, and we know so much about. We probably know more than that is healthy to know about like Billy and Stu. You know, like
You're fine. Randy Meeks, like I know, I feel like I know him. That's because I love him so much. Like
yeah.
you're right. And that's the thing that really it just hurts my soul because like I said, six just brought this like this tingle back. And I'm like, ooh, this is okay because it's different, but I like the way it's making me feel because I feel like it's an actual Scream movie. And then we get hit with this reveal, and like I would have been fine with just the dad, completely fine with just the dad. I mean, I think they should go back to like a Roman esque because Roman, I know we're divided on that, but like Roman did it by himself. Whether that's believable or not now, I would rather it be one person with a very good fucking motive.
I think I would rather have one person with a very good motive than having multiple people. Even if they go the crazy fucking Stu angle, because I'm gonna be honest, like I know the internet's like, we want Stu.
No.
The reality of it is like, yes, would it be like, would it be fun to see Stu on camera again as Stu or Matthew Lillard as Stu? Absolutely. But for believability and like they're gonna have to jump through so many fucking hoops and it's not gonna make sense. You can't go Stu.
Okay. This is the only thing that just because you were saying that, and I was like, yep, I'm on board. But here's the thing. If they were to get it to be Stu and craft it like he like was orchestrating all of this, like he was giving the ins to these people, and then it was like him at the end, and then okay, hear me out before everyone's like, Jordana, shut that back up. Hear me out. What if we got a Ghostface Sydney final battle like we were supposed to get with Halloween Ends? Because everyone felt like we were deserving of like a Michael Laurie epic showdown. What if we got a Stu and Sid showdown? And granted, it will never happen, but like I would be okay if it was
I am
done.
not putting this. I think it's gonna happen. That
Really?
we just saw it. The movie studios are fucking mindless and they're scared, and people will eat up. I
know, it's sad.
You can like listen. I'm a nostalgia person. We all are nostalgia people, but I feel like movie studios have trained people over the last like 15 years to like in their brain, like you don't like the script and story doesn't have to be good anymore as long as they give you a big old dose of nostalgia that you'll sit there like a moron in the theater and go, I know that guy. He was in the other one. I think I would be shocked if Stu does not show up in one of these 3 movies.
Maybe Matthew Lillard will just be like, spare me the embarrassment. I'm good, dude. You know what I mean? Like maybe he'll just like let him down easy and be like, I'm gonna have to respectfully say no, just because of like your track record.
Maybe he's gonna be busy doing all the Five Nights at Freddy's movies, so maybe that'll keep him out. But I feel it in my gut that they are like, first of all, they're scared shitless because the fan base is pissed off right now.
Oh yeah.
So they pulled the Nev switch and brought her back.
Yeah. So
and
then
I'm telling you that Stu switch is right there, and I guarantee you they're thinking about pulling it.
I know, and it's so embarrassing. Like, wouldn't you be embarrassed as like a film studio to be like, we don't fucking need you. We're not paying you. You created the franchise pretty much character wise, but you know what? Fuck yourself. We're moving on and out. And they fire their up and whatever upcomings, and then they're like, oh, can you please come back? If I were Nev, I'd be like, fuck you, just fuck you. Find someone else that wants to be a part of this, or find a good story. You know what I mean? Like I don't think it's gonna happen, and this is just the end of Scream for me because, and I know I said it before, but I don't know. I'm more curious in like a mean way. I just want to see how bad it's gonna be, just so I can be like, ooh,
Oh
got
yeah,
a feeling.
100%. I have said before. I mean, well, obviously we're gonna see it when it comes out. I just
Yes, Sam,
ugh.
because I said I wasn't gonna see six, and I went how many times? Probably six times to the
You
actual
went like 3
theater.
or 4 times in like 2 weeks.
I know, but you know what? It was cool because I was actually, that I'm honest about the shit that I like and the shit that I don't like. And I was such an asshole about nope, not going to see it. And then I go, I'm like, wow, I actually like it. Like this
Yeah.
is pretty good. So I don't know. Maybe I'll eat my words, but there's something that's telling me just by all the check marks that we're checking off on our list of like dislikes that it just it's not going to be our cup of tea.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with that.
I I am fine with just having the Scream movies that I enjoy, and I think at this point those are the ones that that those are the ones that I'm gonna when I think of Scream, I'm gonna think of what we have already, and whatever they give me going forward kind of will be like its own thing that I don't care about.
Exactly. And you know what? The positive take that we can take from it is that if it ushers in new horror fans, then that's again a win for us. You know what I'm saying? Like not necessarily, but like I don't know. I get excited when if I don't like something, if other people like it, like the masses, because it's just like a new group of fans, and then that's just gonna push more horror and more, things to come out. But is it quality? Is it good? That's questionable. That's subjective. So
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to because my thought is like, is it really gonna? Are new fans gonna go? Like, is there like some kid out there who's like
I've
all
never
of a
seen
sudden
Scream.
is gonna see Scream 7, a trailer for it, and be like, whoa, look at this 50-year-old broad. I gotta go see what she's doing. Like I feel like this is straight up just for people that are like 30 and above. Like everybody who's like, all right, you've seen these before. Now, granted, obviously kids get into movies at their own pace. I'm just saying, I don't
Yeah.
know if it's going to be like this mad rush from all the teenagers to go see Scream 7.
And also too, like if you don't know if you haven't heard about Scream, you must be living under a rock because that's like, you know what I mean? Like my one BFF, Christy, I love her so much. She has never seen it. And we're gonna do like a watch night. And she's like, I know the gist of it. She's like, I think I know who the killers are, but I've just never seen it. I'm like, well, you have to see it. Like
Yeah,
Scream.
you at least got to see one. You got to see
Yeah.
one.
I mean, for me, I got to show her two. You know how much I love two. So
Oh yeah, I mean, listen, Scream is
goes
even
hand in
3,
hand.
like even 3 that
Yeah.
I think is I personally think is a bad movie.
Yep.
I still have fun watching it. Like
And that's exactly how I feel. Like Scream 3 is just so it's over the top and crazy, but there's just I don't know. There's parts of it that still made me love it. And then, you roll into the other ones and it was just like, oh, you're trying to be serious? Okay. Like, then that's a little but on to I love too that we come back for our episode and we spent the first 20 minutes talking about Scream. Like this isn't perfect Sam and Jordana nature.
absolutely.
Like this is the content that you've been waiting for. But let's talk about movies that we've seen, newer movies that we've seen that we can discuss.
All right. I'll kick it off.
Please.
Because I know you've seen this movie and I saw it now that it's streaming. I finally saw Abigail.
Yes. I'm so excited that you did. And survey says, what did you think?
I liked it. There was some parts like when it sort of became a superhero movie at the end, I kind of was like, well, okay, but I will say, and I saw the filmmaker Joe Russo, not the Marvel one, the horror one.
Yeah.
He posted something that I thought was very. He's like, whoever made the decision to show the reveal that she is a vampire in the trailer should be beaten with a stick. Because absolutely, imagine that reveal if you didn't fucking know it was coming. Like
that's exactly like it would be like a From Dusk Till Dawn.
Yep.
And people would have been like, if that would have happened, that would have been my number one of 2024 without a doubt.
Yeah.
I mean, until I see Terrifier 3, but whatever, but like exactly. And so he was the director of this movie.
No, Joe Russo is He made movies like I believe like he's worked with Greg Nicotero.
Okay.
He's made like cinema Monsters of Cinema. I think he might have did Freaky, that one with Vince Vaughn. Well, he's known. He's like in the industry.
Because that's like, I don't know who was in charge of the marketing, but like for them to sit there and say we should just put the reveal right in. I mean, like, because I don't know about anyone else listening. If you would have told me, like, if you would have showed me a clip where they're like putting on the masks and they're going up to the house and they're like talking about kidnapping this little girl, and then all of a sudden like the windows start going up and shit, and they just cut it there and they're like Abigail, I would have gone and saw. I would have, without a doubt.
Yeah, like, so I get I get why they kind of pushed out is like,
Mhm.
oh, well, we want to get the horror fans. Well, you could still cut that trailer and make it look like a horror movie and keep the reveal of the vampire nature of it. Like, you could have it, trailers, they're 2 minutes. You could put music in it, like tones. You
And
could
two
make
minutes
it.
is too long.
Yeah, yeah, well, truly. But like, you could have like let people know, like, hey, there's something going on, or like this is going to be a horror movie, but not like fully just be like, and vampire spy.
Yes. Like anything would, like that would have been, I would have been happy. Like Barbarian, for example. Remember that trailer? It was just the house and it was just zooming in on it. And then it
Yep.
just said, it said like either Barbarian or like something. And
I think
that's
it was
all they
Barbarian.
gave for the trailer. And look how well Barbarian did. Not like opinion wise, like review wise, because a lot of people didn't like Barbarian, but it did pretty fucking good. And I mean, like I enjoyed it. And I thought
It was one of my favorites of the year.
me too. I fucking loved it. And I love that no one knew what it was. And then once you got hit with something like that, I was like, oh shit, like this is fucking hairy titties.
Yeah. I mean,
Like,
that it's fun when you don't see that coming. I
yes.
never in a million years when I saw that trailer and that marketing was like, it's gonna end with a 12-foot tall, big titted woman running around. Like, I had no idea that was gonna happen.
And like, okay, not to like harp on Barbarian, but like to have the element of like the dad being the creep and like flashing back to him and the explanation. Like, it's just all. I rewatched it not too long ago with my in-laws, and they're like, "What the fuck is?" Like, they loved it, but I love it so much. It's just It's not all the time that you have a movie come in and you have no idea what it is, and it knocks your socks off. And that's what I want more of, is movies that I don't need to know everything in the trailer and have it just knock my socks off.
Yeah, and I'm excited. I forget the director's name. I know he's from The Whitest Kids You Know. That's what. No, I think Trevor was the one who passed away, unfortunately. It's one of the guys from Whitest Kids You Know,
Mhm.
and I believe I remember after this movie, like Barbarian was such a critical success, whether or not like
People.
everybody liked it, critics
Mhm.
thought it was good. That I think he signed like a 3-year, like a 3-picture, $100 million deal with, and it's going to be like all horror movies. And I'm like, I can't wait to see what he does.
Fuck yes, I love that. I love when up and comers get their flowers, and deservedly. Like that's like, please, I want to see what this band can do.
Yeah, I'm here. I mean, he showed me creativity with that, and
Mhm. It's a jet again. It's coming by. It's like, Sam.
I couldn't tell if that was in my in. No, it sounded like somebody on an old timey bike, like squeaking their horn, like honk honk.
It's
And I was
Jigsaw.
like, I actually it was like I thought it was coming from yours. I'm like, are you okay? Like,
What would you have done if like I turned around and Jigsaw was like right there on this little fucking bike? Ding, ding.
I'd be like, wow, we've upped the production budget on this.
I thought maybe like, because Wolfie brought this over earlier. I don't know if you heard it when he was squeaking his toy, and I'm like, but yeah, Abigail was just so much fun, and Catherine Newton was like the MVP for me.
Is that the girl?
The blonde girl, not Abigail, but the one that
the junk. No, not the junkie one. Yeah, the other girl. Yeah, there's 2 girls. So
the computer chick,
yes.
Not Sam. I loved her. She fucking made. I love that the comedy wasn't, for me, it wasn't too much. I thought it was perfect. Like her and the big burly.
My favorite character actually was the big guy. I loved him.
I loved him too. And their banter back and forth, and then the end scene when like she's chasing him and he's like, oh, he's saying all this shit running around. I was dying. I love that movie
Yeah, I
So
thought it
good.
was great. The only thing I'll say is, and spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it, skip ahead about 30 seconds.
Mhm.
The one character that I didn't buy was the leader of
Oh, the glasses.
the heist group, the
Mhm.
leader of the gang.
Yep.
I didn't buy him, and the whole time I'm like, I don't buy him, so I know he's the fucking guy. like I'm like, there's something off about him. Like everybody else I'm buying here, except
Yep.
I will say, and I get it's kind of a silly, somewhat comedy movie. I was like, are these the stupidest criminals ever? Why would they have the dumbest wheelman on Earth?
Abs-
Like
Absolutely. Like, if I were in that situation, I'd be like, like let a real fucking professional, you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
do their job. But
We got this fucking like clown Miller like fucking guy like
I know. And you know what's so sad is that like I'm sad that he died, but like it's just I'm with you. I wish that it would have been a little bit more like a like a bad boy, but not I don't know. Like I don't it was weird. Like he was the off one for me too, but overall I had a lot of fun watching it. I thought the gore was good. I thought
Gore was
the
great.
yeah, like and I wasn't expecting that. I'm like there's no way they're going to put like as much gore, with a kid, and they totally did, and I love them for that.
Yeah, no, I thought it was good. Like I said, the ending for me when it kind of became very superhero-esque, like we're gonna team up and fight him together.
Yeah.
Like I was like, oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Like
Like
you're a vampire, you should be ripping her face off. But okay.
let's reel it back and let's get
Yeah.
back into serious mode. Yes, I do. I will say I agree with that as well.
But that's one of the new ones I've seen. Jordana, you're always seeing crazy shit. What have you seen lately?
Oh, I know. I saw Long Legs.
Oh, I'm so jealous. How was it?
I personally, I thought it was fucking amazing.
Oh, I was getting worried. I was like, oh no, oh no.
No, I mean,
The suspense was killing me. I thought you were gonna be like, I thought it was shit.
yeah, there's a lot of people that were super hyped for this movie that are not happy with it, but I can't obviously say too much, but like I went, did you ever watch The Black Coat's Daughter?
No, I believe it was on at a party, so I've seen like bits and pieces, but it's
Yep.
never a movie that I've like sat from beginning to end.
If you can, when Long Legs comes out, do a double feature, do Black Coat's Daughter, Long Legs, because Oz Perkins did Black Coat's Daughter. He also did Hansel and Gretel. I don't know if you've seen that one.
The-
The chick from It, the redheaded girl, she's in it, and it's Hansel and Gretel, but it's like a darker take on it.
Oh, I did not know they made that. I thought you were talking about the one with Jeremy Renner where Hansel and Gretel are like vampire hunters.
No, but Sam, I'm telling you, Hansel and Gretel and whatever it's backwards is so fucking good because it's like scary, it's dark, it is like
Probably closer to the actual whatever those fucking guys' names were, the Brothers Grimm tale, probably.
yeah. So
Yeah.
like, but when I heard it was Oz Perkins, I was like, okay, I was excited for it because I loved his take on that one. The Black Coat's Daughter slaps. I think it's really good. But this one is just like it's creepy because it's real. It felt like a real life scenario. You know what I mean? Like it's just I loved the thriller aspect of it. But Nicolas Cage, to me, a lot of people like said that it was comical, like he was too much. I thought he was fucking perfect because if I ran into a person like that, acting like that, I would be shitting my pants and I'd be getting my whole fucking family away from him. I'd be like, go, like, get to scooting.
Well, you know my thoughts on the Cage Man,
I know.
which just I was gonna debut it for later when we talk action movies, but I believe I've shown you this, but I had to show. This is the first thing I ever put up in my house when I bought my house.
I love it so much.
That is still on the wall, and it will never come down.
Don't ever take it down. He's fantastic in it. I loved it. I loved what they did with it too, because Oz Perkins had Mika Monroe not interact with him at all until like the scene that they're in, and that was her first time seeing him. And I love that idea. I think it really enhances the experience, and like that scene was so fucking tense. Oh, it was just I don't know. I guess the hype really fucked it up for them. You know what I mean? Like I think it kind of it oversold itself. So like marketing it as the scariest movie ever, of course, you know, it's not going to be received well when it's such a I don't know, such a
Like I was
divisive
saying,
movie.
like if you hype it up and you get some people will get so excited for it that it makes it like an even if it's like a B plus, you're like,
Yeah.
well, it wasn't an A plus like I thought it was gonna be. Like, like
Yeah, it's a type of horror movie where it's like it depends on your taste. If you are not for like these FBI type thrillers slash horror movies, you're not gonna like it. You know what I mean? Like it's not overtly gory. It's not. Do you know what I'm saying? But like the story's good. There's parts and like the way that the scenes are shot that are just like unnerving. I don't know. I love that one. And then I also saw Oddity.
you were telling me about this. How did that one go?
Can I just fangirl with you real quick?
Absolutely.
Okay, so you know me very well. I think you know me the most out of everyone that I interact with, but you know that I love Caveat.
I know that you love it. You got me onto it, and now I'm a fan as well.
Okay, so I love Caveat. I love Jeffrey, whatever his name is. That was Jeffrey French. That was the lead in Caveat. So he's in this one as well. And I'm telling you right now, Sam, that movie scared the shit out of me in such a fun way. It's not like it's a good movie. It's a really good story, but like the way that he crafted these scares and like images, oh my god, like he is on my horror radar. Like Damien McCarthy is going to do epic shit because he is so fucking good. But he started following me.
Oh shit.
And we talked. We were chit chatting. I know. And then after I posted my review of Oddity, he sent me a message, and he thanked me for what I said. Can I read it to you?
Absolutely.
I'm
If you're
so
comfortable, if you're
excited.
comfortable sharing that with the world, if that's not something you want for yourself,
I mean, I want it for myself, and I want everyone to know that I'm talking to Davey McCarthy.
I
Okay.
also want everyone to know I'm a boss ass bitch. All right, like
You know, like when I fangirl and I like, and it's something that's like reciprocate like this. You know how excited I get.
100%. I get it.
So this is what he replied to me. Ready?
Yeah.
And I didn't send it to him. He saw my story. Hearing this is really amazing and encouraging, which is needed as I sit up late writing, in parentheses, or scrolling online when I should be writing. Thank you, with an exclamation point.
That's awesome.
I was like, you want to be friends? You want to pitch ideas to me? Because I like horror. But I think I'm going to ask him to come on my pod.
Fuck yeah, that would be awesome.
I'm going to shoot my shot with Damien McCarthy. And if he says no, I'll gladly take an L. But like, I just want to be like, can I have 30 minutes of your time so I can just talk to you about how you got the ideas for Caveat, how you got your ideas for Oddity? Like, I want to know what's going on up in that beautiful brain of yours.
I always feel so weird asking people to like. I very rarely have done it. Like
Sam.
ask like. I did one, and he actually said he would do the show, and then he ended up doing Joe Pop Briggs instead. Like that same weekend, which I don't blame him. Like he, a little bit of a different level. And then the other, I only shot my shot one other time, and because I was like maybe, and I'm not shitting on him because it's not his fucking responsibility. But I was drunk watching Zombievers, and I was like, I'll fucking message this guy. I'll be like, Zombievers is fucking dope. Like, you want to come talk to me?
I want to talk about this with you. I love that.
Left on red.
Listen, Sam, you have to shoot your shot because the worst thing you're gonna get is a no. And then if they, they're like, oh, who is this person? Who cares? But like, I shot my shot with Art the Clown, and I would have had my shot if T2 did not blow up like it did, because he did say he was going to come on my pod after I talked to him. And then he had to go on the press tours and do all the stuff for T2. And then look where we're at now. So
yeah,
I was so close. I could taste the Art sweat off of him. Pissed. I'll have my chance though.
I could taste the white paint.
The white and black balls. Mark my words. I will have him on my show at some point. It's going to be a goal of mine.
You're
I don't-
manifesting it.
I'm going to manifest it. And even if I have to manifest it monetarily, I will save my Ulta paycheck just to be like, David Howard Thornton, can you please come on and just talk to me for like 10 minutes?
Fair enough. I mean, I think if anyone, you're the biggest Terrifier fan I know, and I think that has to happen. So
I appreciate you. Now, speaking of Terrifier, did you see the teaser?
no. So I mean, the day on the internet, I am a person on the internet. I saw like boom, 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 boom. It was all over socials, but I'm not really you know me.
I do.
I'm not a trailer person. If I already know if I'm already sold on the movie,
Yeah.
I don't usually watch the trailers unless it's something like I've never like Long Legs. I watched the trailer of because what the fuck is this? I don't know what this is. Like,
Yeah.
But so I didn't watch it. I'm not that worried. So feel free. What happens in the trailer?
It's not long. It's not. It's. I would be happy if they did not release anything else, but you know just as well as I do that's not going to happen. We'll probably get like a 3-minute trailer with everything shown in it, but it looked promising. He was making a blood angel.
Okay, all right, like a snow angel, but in blood.
But in blood with a cut off leg to the side, and that like look at the smile on my face, like that sealed it for me. I'm so excited. It looks beautiful with like the shots of him like as Santa art and like the Christmas get-ups. It looks beautiful. So I'm really excited.
I'm so confused by this movie right now, though. Like, just again, I don't pay attention with the news as much, but like the movie comes out in October
now. Yeah.
So, but like they're still announcing like I have joined the cast, and I'm like, the fucking movie has to be done. What are you talking about? Like,
that's what I thought too. And who was Bill Moseley? Wasn't he the latest one to join the cast?
Bill Moseley and
oh god,
the guy that we theorized was going to be the father, which I forgot now, who said he was. God. We had a whole discussion about it. You and I did, and I can't remember who it was now. It was no, was it Devon Sawa?
No,
maybe.
No, oh god, that would have been awesome. Oh, who the fuck was it? It was
Here, let me Google Terrifier 2. Well, but you keep talking. You keep going about what's going on in the world of Terrifier, because I know there's more. I knew this was going to get brought up. So
I mean, come on, Sam. It wouldn't be an episode without me talking about either Terrifier or us talking about Scream. So we checked those boxes off. It looks promising. They're Sienna.
Jason Patric.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Sienna looks amazing. But there's something in my gut that's telling me that she might not make it in this one. I don't know why, but I just have like this feeling because Damien, I hope he takes risks and he doesn't play it safe just because this is one of the most highly anticipated horror movies coming out. And I hate saying it like that, and I don't want to be negative about it, but I just hope that there are some like ballsy moves in this one, and I hope that questions get answered and we don't have ongoing questions that we're adding to the mix.
I 100% agree. I mean, I would say if anything with Damien, I've always been a mixed bag on some of his movies. Some I really like, some are. Yeah. I don't think he's afraid to take risks. He killed off what's her face in the first one, and that was kind of a shock.
And that's what I'm saying. But I appreciated him for that.
But I like that he did that. It's a plus.
Yeah.
Because he is not afraid to do that. But he has stated before that Sienna is to Art what like Laurie is to Michael. So I don't, but who knows? I also sort of kind of get the impression that he's sort of making all this shit up as he goes along. So, like that might have been true at the time when he said it, and then a week later, no, fuck that.
Out the bag. I know, and I'm hoping that because I remember when we were discussing this, like when Terrifier 2 came out, that he had ideas for 3, because 3 was definitely happening, the sequel was happening, and then he had ideas for 2 more movies. So I'm hoping that it's it doesn't unravel, and I hope that if 3 is good, that he can maybe do like 3 or 4 and 5 in one and just end it, because I don't want this to have the curse of franchises, which we all know is going to happen because it's a big ticketed movie with an iconic. I know you want to say iconic because people are like, art's not iconic, but I mean, let's be real, art's
He's an icon at this point.
one of the more known horror icons.
He's a modern. He's probably he's the most iconic modern slasher.
Yes, for the newer generation, for like the 2010s and 20s, like he's it. And I'm happy because I felt like we kind of needed to usher in newer horror icons. So I'm happy that we have Art in on our team. But I just hope it doesn't turn into like the curse of all like big horror franchises where it's just greedy and they turn into shite. I mean, like,
can I
I know you're gonna burst my bubble.
Can I posit something that I'm afraid might happen?
Yeah.
What I'm a little afraid of with Terrifier 3 is there are so many people who have been announced to have cameos. Like, I mean, I don't know how I lost count. I mean, and I'm assuming they're all just going to be little bit parts.
Yeah.
I feel like that's going to, you're playing a dangerous game there. Like, yes, there's fan service, like, oh, hey, there's, Felissa Rose or whatever. That's cool. But when you've got 20 of those in a movie,
yeah,
it's I mean,
overkill.
Yeah, I mean that's like what Sharknado became. Like it became less about the fucking sharks and it became like, oh, Conan O'Brien's on there, ha ha ha. Like,
yes, and I'm glad that you said that because I hope that it doesn't turn into that either. Because I didn't mind seeing Felissa Rose as the teacher momentarily. Like she didn't have that much of an important role, but it was cool to see her because like. Come on now. Like she's amazing.
And Diana Prince at the end of 2 with Chris Jericho, the wrestler, for some fucking reason. Yeah, which is fine. Like little, just a pinch. Those like what, 2, 3. I'm a little afraid that like we're going to get like 25 of them in this one.
And I don't know Damien personally. I wish I did. Damien, if you're listening, hit me up because I love you. But another part of me also makes me wonder like how many celebrities are like, I want to get in on the art, you know what I mean? And like maybe talk to him and they're like, hey, would it be cool if I like, had a mild cameo, that type of deal too.
I mean, let's not forget, I mean, Art, he did pimp out Art to put him in that stupid fucking Pete whatever show that he quit after 1 year.
I pray to I know. I was so angry. I'm like, really? You're gonna waste Art in a fucking Pete Davidson show? Like, is that dude even still relevant?
I don't know. That show I think was a hit. And then he just quit it. He's like, I don't want to do it anymore. And I was like, what a fucking piece of shit.
He's such a weird dude. Like I never thought he was funny. I'm sorry to anyone that's listening that thinks he's funny. And also too, for the girls, like I have a good friend that I work with that thinks that he's like the most like good looking guy. I'm like, are you fucking serious?
He looks like every like kind of goofy junkie scumbag. I don't know, like, I don't think he's funny. I don't think he's funny. What? I'd fuck him. I don't care.
I know. I'm with you though, because
he's worth too much money, and he's not. The talent does not. I'm sorry. The talent is not worth. The level of talent is not matching the level of success that he has gotten, and I am not afraid to say that.
I think he peaked out when like he dated Kim Kardashian. That like solidified the douchiness of him. I'm like, oh, you're dating a Kardashian too? Like, fucking barf.
I've never really found him funny.
Nope.
The only thing he ever did that made me laugh was that SNL skit with him and Timothy Chalamet as the rappers, the douchey rappers. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
Yeah, I saw like parts of it, but only because of Willy Wonka, which I don't know if we've ever discussed this, but I watched Wonka, and again, I was like, oh God, why? I actually really liked it, and
I didn't see it, but I will say that Deanna, that was like her most like well-reviewed movie of the year. Like she loved it. She's like, I had no expectations. She's like, but the music was great. The fucking movie was really good. She said.
I cried because it was so good. It was like such a good. I thought it was just going to be like a playoff of what already existed, and then like Timothy Chalamet playing Willy Wonka, But I loved and Hugh Grant as a fucking Oompa Loompa. I did not expect that was like a 24. My bingo card I wasn't expecting, but like he was really good too. I love that movie.
he bitched about that movie so much.
You know?
I saw that he's like, they swindled me. He's like, I thought I was going to be playing up, like interacting with people. He goes, it was 3 months of me talking to a fucking green screen, and he's like, I hated it.
I know. I felt
But I
so
was
bad.
like, dude, you signed up to be an Oompa Loompa. What did you think was going to happen?
I know, like, don't play stupid Hugh Grant because you know that you probably knew you're gonna be a fucking Oompa Loompa, but he played a really good one. And speaking of Hugh Grant, and I don't know, I know we just discussed that you don't usually watch trailers, but have you heard of Heretic? Heretic with him in it? It's a horror movie.
No, but I
It
don't know
looks
why.
good.
Like, I never thought of it, but I feel like he would be great in a horror movie.
Those are my exact thoughts when I watched the trailer because I was like, And then when you realize like that it's him and he answers the door to the after we record, you have to watch the trailer just
Okay.
to kind of because I didn't know like what it was, but it looks really good. And then I sat there, I'm like, man, Hugh Grant is like the underdog for a horror icon because he looks charming.
Yeah,
You know
he's
what I
soft
mean?
spoken, but
Yep.
like probably would be a really good, like, afraid, like probably would show fear really well.
Well, when you just said soft spoken, when he starts talking, like in the evil sense, like once you see what's happening in the trailer, you're
Mhm.
like, oh, okay, and I'm here for it. And I honestly still don't know what the fuck this movie's about, but I'm in. Like I'm signed up for it. I'm ready to go.
I mean, I'm in just on the premise of, Hugh Grant in a horror movie. I'm already like, okay, well, that's something I've never seen before, so let's fucking roll. Like,
Yeah, and I like that too, because again, instead of it being the male version of Jenna Ortega in every single horror movie that we've seen lately, I like that it's someone that a well-known name and pleasantly surprised that that he's in a horror movie. So
yeah, I mean, that's gonna be like, I don't, like we said, like I get tired of seeing the same people in the same roles or the same type of movies over and over and over again.
mhm.
Disney,
Let's say it louder for the people in the back.
but yeah, so no, that's cool. I'm already sold, but I will check the trailer out because that sounds interesting.
Yes, I'm remaining hopeful because there's a lot of like August, we're getting a lot of horror movies.
What's coming out in August? I mean, it is August, but
I know, happy August 1st. So we're getting Trap with Josh Hartnett, the
uh-huh.
M. Night Shyamalan movie that's coming out.
Oh,
We're getting,
I'm scared.
I know, I already saw a review,
Mm-hmm.
an early screener, a review from a girl on TikTok, and I'm not going to say what it is because I just don't want to. I'm not like that, but
I saw one of the YouTubers that I've watched for years. He
yeah,
posted I didn't watch it, but I
yeah.
saw he had a 1 sentence review on the thumbnail, and I'll just say what it said.
Say
It
it.
said it's his best. Said it's not since Avatar has a, what's his name,
M.
been a
Night.
piece been this good. And I was like, oh shit,
Fuck.
like
And
that's not good.
it makes me so sad because I love Josh Hartnett. He is a horror king to me. Hello, Zeke.
And I was also like, I'm gonna go in no matter what, even if it gets fucking trash. Because a lot of people didn't like Old, and I thought Old was all right, not great, but I thought it was fine. Like,
I watched it and I wanted to know what was going on. I was engaged the whole time. Yeah, same. I didn't hate it like everyone else did. And I'm more of an M. Night lover than most. So that's why I'm trying to remain hopeful because I'm
same
going
here.
in I'm going in with zero expectations because you're already telling us that he's the killer trapped. Well, that the killer's trapped inside. So presumably it's going to be Josh Hartnett. Even if it's not cool, even if it is cool, I'm still going to watch it.
Yeah, I'm still. That's for sure going to be on my watch list. But all right, so we got Trap coming out. What else we got coming out in August?
So we got Alien Romulus.
Which I will say, I've seen clips because our last episode I was very negative on because I think that they have pissed all over the franchise ever since 2. I think that they've just forced it onto the ground and pissed it in the franchise's mouth.
Yeah.
But,
yes.
but from what I saw, I'm like, okay, this looks like what I want. This looks like a monster movie, not a philosophical, what is a god and can man become God and fuck all
Dad
that shit.
or did he say daddy or isn't that like when he would was saying shit? The father or something. Yeah, I know.
I erase all those from my memory. But I'm going to be honest. I am now excited, but trepidatiously, because I've been burned by this fucking franchise so many times.
I think the saving grace of this one might be Fede Alvarez, because Evil Dead fucking slaps, and it's my favorite remake. So I think him adding his spin on it, I think we're gonna get some badass monstery going on. So I'm remaining hopeful for that one, and I'm gonna go see that one in the theaters for sure. Cuckoo is another.
Cuckoo.
Yep. Okay. And I already have my tickets for it. I'm fucking stoked for that one. I got a passport. I got to see Immaculate, Longlegs, and Cuckoo for $20.
Oh fuck yeah, you can't beat that. I don't know what Immaculate is, but the other two alone, that pays for that. So
that's one with Sydney Sweeney. That was right around the time the first Omen came out, and it was like the religious horror type deal. I actually liked Immaculate more than I liked the first Omen, so that might be one for you to watch, because it is kind of it's better, but it didn't. I don't know. It really didn't do.
Well, I mean, then at least I'll finally know who the Sydney Sweeney person is that all the fucking internet is insane over.
Oh my god,
I have no idea who she is. I'm like, I don't know how she's famous. I've heard her name everywhere.
Yep.
Don't know what. I think she's from that show where they all fuck each other.
Euphoria.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yes, that's exactly what I haven't seen it. I watched like the first 2 episodes and I did like it, but I never finished it. And all my girlfriends are like, you need to watch it. But Sydney Sweeney is gorgeous. Like, she's disgustingly pretty. Like, the gene pool in her family is like an in-ground infinity pool. Like, she's gorgeous. But she really was good in Immaculate. Like, I truly enjoyed her performance. But again, like the first Omen didn't really do too much for me. I don't know why we need a prequel to The Omen. I don't get that.
I will be honest, and this is a tangent.
Yeah.
I really had a thought recently. If I never see a prequel for anything ever again, I think I'm good.
Yeah, I think I'm perfect, actually.
Because the only thing you get with a prequel is usually some version of an origin story. And generally, I realize I just don't give a fuck about origin stories. Like, I just get to the meat of the mat. Like I don't care how Han Solo became Han Solo. Just show me Han Solo. Like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
and his current story. Like, you can give me some backstory in the movie, because that's happened on multiple occasions in movies that we get the backstory. Why the fuck is this prequel like trend happening? Like, I don't need a prequel to The Omen. I think people like are raving about it. I don't really see what was so special about it.
Really? People are raving about it? I feel like I honestly forgot it even existed.
Okay. Everyone was like, First Omen is my favorite of the year. I was like, oh, I don't know if I was watching the same movie, but still, I mean, if it's their cup of tea, it was just so odd to me. And the girl that played the lead, she was really good. I actually loved her performance, because in the parts that she had to be like scary and like shit was weird, she was phenomenal. So I will give her flowers. She was great. But the story, the opening scene was almost like identical to a scene in and that's the other thing I hate. If you're going to do a prequel, do not replicate scenes from the movie.
Well, let me guess. It's all for you. That of course, it's the only scene they could do, right?
I don't think they actually said the line, but I think it was along those lines. And then it's just kind of like, oh, I don't know. It's the stupid nostalgic part of it. Like, okay, yeah, that happened in the first one, but can you do an iconic scene that I'm going to remember and make it its own instead of doing from there?
Also, okay, can I hit you with a hot take?
Of course.
We've never really talked The Omen.
Okay.
I don't think it's very good.
Okay, so in the realm of possession movies, I would gravitate towards The Exorcist
100%
more than The Omen.
I'm actually going to watch The Exorcist tonight, actually. I just picked it up on the old Blu-ray.
Did you?
Yes.
Yes, I fucking love The Exorcist. That movie scared me, and as many times as I've seen it, it's still like the scenes with her and her eyes, when I blink, I can see it still. Like, it fucking scares the shit out of me. Love The Exorcist. But The Omen, it's okay. I I don't hate it, but I don't even with the rewatch that we just did. Yeah, it's evil, but like I like The Exorcist more. Even like Rosemary's Baby is really good.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I just find The Exorcist is great. That The Omen is just really boring. Like outside of the jump, I have a you know like those memories you have that are just like this you associate something with a memory and that's just forever what it will be. I distinctly remember watching The Omen for the first time with my brother, and I was probably like, I don't know, 12, and he was, whatever, like 17, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
You're killing me with your like, yeah, whatever. So then you count and you're like,
he's
yeah, whatever.
7 years older than me. I'm not doing the math. I can't do 12 plus 7 in my head. All right.
19.
There you go. We're watching The Omen together, and I think my mom maybe was watching with us. And we get to the scene, and we're kind of like, this is fucking sort of boring. And we get to the scene where they're like his mother was a whore and his father was a jackal. And then when they open up that casket and there is an actual fucking jackal's body inside the casket, me and my brother Steve laughed our nuts off for like 5 minutes straight. Like we were just dumbfounded that we're like, they literally meant that. They meant his father was an actual animal. And we laughed so hard. And I think of it's the only thing. It's that, and it's all for you. That's my memory of The Omen.
A jackal in a casket, and it's all for you.
That's what I got. She got fucked by a jackal, because we were like, okay, it's obviously like a metaphor or something. Yeah. And then they open it up, and it's a fucking animal.
You have got to be evil to fuck a jackal.
Oh, I just remember that. So such a good, a more innocent time.
I love that story. But like, it's the truth though. Like it's kind of like comedic now you watch it. Because imagine like back in the day, I'm sure people were like, oh my God, like completely disgusted and like, can't believe they're actually seeing that on the screen. And then you watch it now and you're like Rosalind, when we showed her A Nightmare on Elm Street, and it was one of the scariest parts in the beginning when he's doing his hands down and he's coming at her, but then he starts running and he does this thing. He looks
goofy now.
Gets off the couch and she starts running around the kitchen. She's going, and I'm like, okay, this is not scary. But do you know what movie scared her?
What's that?
So she went, and let's put this in perspective. Like Rosalind we watched Insidious, and we started Insidious 2. She went and saw Longlegs, but disclaimer, she passed out in the first 10 minutes with her mouth wide open. She was catching flies for a majority of the movie. And then at the end, when shit goes crazy and she was awake for that, she was like, she liked it. She's like, it didn't scare me, but she thought it was good.
Yeah.
Oddity, same thing. I hit my head with my candy bag like 2 times, and her and I were like, just jumping. But then at the end, we were like, oh, that was fun. Late Night with the Devil like really scared her.
Oh yeah, you did tell me that. You said that, and I was shocked by that because
me too.
It's not one that when I watch it, I'm like, at least obviously for a child, but I feel like the presentation isn't really scary. It's, you know what I mean? Like I felt like the intention wasn't to scare as much as it was to entertain.
Exactly, because that's how I felt. Like it definitely wasn't the scariest of the year, but I love that movie.
I know you love it. I think like once a week I go on your Instagram story and it's like, not watching Late Night with the Devil, and I'm like, there's other movies, right?
I do. Here's the thing, Sam. I know there's other movies, but I don't want to waste my time. So at least I know that when I watch Late Night with the Devil with whoever hasn't seen it, I'm gonna enjoy it, and I don't care if they did, because I'm gonna enjoy watching it.
Trust me, I get it. I have watched until they took it off. I watched The Crow. It was on Amazon Prime for free, and I watched it probably once a week for the last like 8 or 9 weeks.
Yeah.
I was like I'd be at late at night, and I'm like, you're searching, and I'm like, oh, there's nothing on. I'm like, all right, fuck it, I'll watch this again.
That's exactly my train of thought, because I'm just like, I could take a chance on this one, but like I don't really know if I want to see it. And I know like it's on everyone's watch list because it's a horror movie in 2024, but like I know I like this one.
I
And
know what I know what I'm getting for the ticket I'm purchasing. Like the time I'm investing, I know will be rewarded.
exactly. So like it was just her and I, and I'm like, "Do you want to watch Late Night with the Devil?" Yeah, I've been wanting to watch that. And again, she loved it, but like the Gus part, and spoiler alert, the whole worm thing, she was like, "Oh my!" Like she was freaking out during that scene. And
That's my
then
favorite part.
mine too, I loved it because I mean, I love Gus, but she loved Gus. And then when he finally died at the end, his neck snap. It's not funny, but she was like, "No," she said something, "No, Gus." She was so, and then when everyone else started to like be, you know, sliced up and diced up and burned, she was just like, what?" And she was just like, couldn't believe it. But the thing that I loved about it, she understood the concept. She's like, so he pretty much like sacrificed his wife, sold his soul to the devil. And I was like, I love that you get this. I love that. Like we can have this conversation and this is what you're getting from it.
Yeah, that's awesome. And it's really cool when you see, I don't have kids. I have a dog.
Yes.
I have a little fur child, but not quite the same. He watches movies with me, but I don't think he gets them. I think it's always interesting to see like a child's reaction to something, because you kind of forget, like, oh, this is the elements are scary, even if it's not scary to us. And I would say, as almost, I'll say like somewhat of a transitional thing here, but we can go back if you want there. I would kind of in a similar way. So I know there's a dude that I know that he has a kid, and he watched Terminator 2 with him.
Yeah.
And he's a little boy, obviously he's like 8 years old, fucking obviously loves it, like this is the fucking coolest thing ever. Yes. But at the end of the movie, and the dad wasn't, he had no concept that this was going to happen, but it like ruined his fucking night, because when Arnold has to kill himself at the end of the movie to preserve the kid, like boom, like tears like shot out of his fucking eyeballs. like
I'm sure.
And like you're like not thinking about it, and the kid, like, because you're just like, oh, I'm gonna show my kid this fucking cool movie where Arnold's blowing shit up, and then you're like, oh yeah. And then also you're gonna have to sort of teach your son about like mortality and like watching a father figure die.
I know. And that's the thing of it, is like, I have to, like, when I'm showing her these movies, like explain, like she picked Texas Chainsaw 3. And I'm like, okay, like other than
3?
the remake.
Okay.
Oh, 3, yes.
I was like, if she picked the Saw as family, what the fuck? Like,
that would have been an awesome pick if she did, but no, I was kidding. But I had to like tell her, I'm like, so this scene coming up is super intense. And she was like, does she kill them? And I'm like, well, no, she kills herself. Yeah. And she was like, okay. I'm like, it's kind of intense. I'm like, if I just wanted to give you a heads up, because I don't want you to be like taken back by it. And it happened. And she was like, oh my God. Like when it went through the head, she was like, that's awesome. And I'm like, yes.
I got a cool kid.
I was so excited, because if she wouldn't have been okay with it, I would have totally shut it off. But I'm just like testing the waters of like how far I can go with like,
has she seen Terrifier?
She's seen she hasn't watched like Terrifier. She saw the pizza shop scene where he's smiling at the girls.
Okay. I was curious, because I'm like, that's obviously a very intense one, but I was like, but I know your love for it. And I'm like, so I was like, I wonder if Jordan has pulled the trigger on that one yet.
Well, here's my confliction. You want to hear my confliction real quick? And then we're gonna transition off horror. We're gonna start talking about some action movies. But so she watched a couple scenes in Terrifier 2. And I mean, because they're, as much as they're beautiful, like the Halloween shop scene, it's the effects are amazing, but like she could tell that it was fake, but she loved it. She thought it was cool. I kind of explained to her like the hacksaw scene, because she asked me why she couldn't watch the first one. And I was like, well, because the girl gets like sliced through her vagina to the top of her head. And she's like, oh God. And I'm like, yeah, exactly. But okay.
And then 2, I'm guessing, like, I mean, the bedroom scene is obviously the
the worst one. She watched like other snippets of 2. Like she loves when he was like making the face at the dude, and like I don't think she saw like the tip one, but she saw like the other one. Oh, she saw the
I
little
didn't even
pale
think about
girl.
that. Yeah, that's a bad one.
But I mean, I would have her cover her eyes because it's not like it's the whole movie. Like, so we're gonna be in Orlando for Halloween Horror Nights when Terrifier comes out.
Mhm.
So I told Greg, I'm like, that I cannot not go see this movie opening night at Universal Studios. Like, I have to. And he's like, okay. And I'm like, what are we gonna do with Roz? And he's like, she could just go. I'm like, well, I mean, I don't know if that's
If you don't
like,
know what's going to be in it, that's going in blind.
I know. And I said that, I'm like, I don't know if that's like the best idea, but like, I don't know. There's a part of me that I should wait, but I really want to go see it when we're down there because there's going to be so many spoilers, and that's one that I don't want to like miss opening night. So I'm conflicted, and I know people are gonna be like, "Don't take her, don't do it," but I might just, I don't know.
It's your kid; she's cool.
Well,
But I get the trepidation though. Because
yes, I'm nervous that the one time I'm going to be like, okay, it's not a big deal. Then like,
there's going to be something in it. I mean, there's already at least one scene in part 1 and a few scenes in part 2. It's not like he's going to all of a sudden take his foot off the gas. So
exactly, because that motherfucker's accelerating to the fullest extent.
Yeah.
So, but like another thing too is she's just super like, I know it's not real. So maybe I don't know. We'll have to see.
Can I tell you? I think it's scene that the one that probably makes me the most uncomfortable in 2.
But
it's not the bedroom scene. I love the bedroom scene.
I do too. I do
the one
too.
that makes me the most uncomfortable is I don't remember the name, but the friend that he kills at the carnival with the like the bedpost with all the shit in it,
and the
and he's just
acid.
kind of like slashing her back and whatnot. Like I don't know why that one kind of gets me. I think just because of the way he's like beating on her. I don't know. That's the one that I find the most uncomfortable to watch of that movie.
That one is so brutal. Like with the initial acid to the face.
Yep.
And then like the way that he just sits there and fucking rips her to shreds. Yeah, that one is that's why I'm like, understandably the bedroom scene is like one of the most iconic kills like in horror history, but like the other blonde girl, that was pretty brutal. Oh, last question. We don't have to like go into, but did you watch In a Violent Nature?
No, that's one I'm definitely was not going to go see in theaters. I knew the concept of it. So I'm waiting for that to hit streaming, which I think it's coming soon. So, but no, and spoil away because as far as I can tell, it's an art house film with very little plot. So
I'm just mad because I wish it would have picked Elaine. Like this is the one time that I wish Elaine would have been picked because either go the artsy route and that would have been cool, and maybe like instead of an hour and 40 something minutes, like a 40-minute movie would have been cool, or go balls to the wall with the kills are pretty fucking
cool.
They're pretty brutal. Like
I saw one that because people can't fucking.
Which one was it?
The girl who got the thing like through her, like the spike or whatever it was.
That one, I was so fucking high watching this movie, and like I knew it was gonna happen because the first kill, I can say this, you don't really see too much of it, which I was pissed about. I was like, come on, like there was such a build up to him stalking this person, and then like everything happens, you don't see it, and that just annoyed the shit out of me. So that kind of should have been my indication that it wasn't, really my cup of tea. But that kill.
So wait, overall, thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle. Where are we at?
I was kind of like a thumb middle, but like more towards the down. Because if it wasn't for the kills, it would have been like without a doubt down. But like
I heard it's very boring, is what I heard.
It is, but if it was shortened into like host 52 minutes, I probably would have been okay with it if it was with the kills and minus the 20-minute walking that he did every single scene.
So will you be watching part 2?
I will, because I'm curious to see where he's going to go with this and what direction he takes, because I'm sure he's gotten feedback of what, or I know he probably just sees dollar signs, so that's it.
Yeah, and but the number one thing that I'm seeing everywhere, even people who liked it, they're like, it's like a walking simulator, like like a lot of it is just walking.
It is, but that yoga kill when he like pulled her head fucking through her stomach, I was just like, you see her hair coming. I was like, this is amazing. And also, too, you stupid bitch, like she's at the crest of the fucking hill. I would have jumped. Like if I saw that thing coming at me, I would have like dove off the fucking hill to not deal with that. But if you get a chance, that kill is pretty intense and I loved it. But
I will give that one a shot on streaming with my finger on the fast forward button for walking.
yes, like I did for Skinamarink.
Yeah, which pretty much you can pretty much fast forward the whole fucking thing. So
Sam's favorite movie.
Yeah, you could just I watched that movie. It took me about, I don't know, a minute and a half to watch it.
I've never seen you so angry
just
before.
Because it's going to come up here in a second when we start talking about some of these action movies. I really get irritated when everyone is telling me how, like, just overwhelmingly being like, this is the best thing ever. And if you don't like it, you're wrong or you're stupid. And it's like, fuck you. I'll like what I like. And
exactly.
And I feel like you're doing mental gymnastics to yourself if you're telling me that you were fully engaged and entertained by that fucking movie for 90 fucking minutes. Are you out of your mind? Have you watched grass grow or paint dry? Because it's just as exciting. All right, sorry.
And exactly how you said it. And you know what? There were some images that I was like, okay, that could be scary as a kid. And I remember being scared of the dark as a kid, but like, I don't need to see it for almost 2 hours.
Yeah.
Like some things I'll never understand, but you know what I will understand is Action August.
Yes, we finally got it. It was originally Jack June, then it was Jack July. We're here for Action August.
I think it's just like the way that the world was working and obviously how things panned out. I think that it was meant to be Action August. AA. So
we're in AA.
We are in AA and I'm excited because action I used to love. I still do, but I feel like I'm missing out on some of the movies just because I don't know. We'll discuss it when we get into it.
So I'm with you. This was something I've been pushing for because I've recently fallen back in love with action movies.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they've always been around, but I think I told you like horror just wasn't doing it for me as much, especially with a lot of the modern releases. I was just getting kind of like tired of being let down.
Yeah.
So I started going into an old friend, Action, and I've just been having a blast going through them. But what I found, this makes me sound so old, I'm sure, is that also modern action movies suck. Just like modern horror movies suck.
Is there a common theme here? Like a lot of modern entertainment is just not hitting for me. It's just not.
I wrote 1977 to 1997. If it's an action movie in those 30 years, I'm sorry, 20 years. Yep. I'm probably in. Like those are that right there. 77 to 97 that's the sweet spot for me. And I've been going through and watching all kinds of, obviously your Arnolds, your Stallones, but I mean, I'm going deep on this shit. I mean,
yeah.
Do you know anybody who owns Navy SEALs on DVD? Because you do now. Charlie Sheen. Oh, it's terrible, but it's fun.
I can always count on you for having amazing physical media. So of course it wouldn't blow my mind.
I've been going to the resale shops and like just going through their like $2 bins and I'm like, if it's an action movie in that 20-year period, it's going home with me.
Fuck yeah. Because you know what? Because they're great movies. Like when I started thinking about what I was going to bring up for movies tonight, I'm like, I got to go to the 90s because that's when, I fucking loved action movies in the 90s because they were like they're borderline like horror for me because they're terrifying. The action sequences, the characters, the storylines, they were all just so fucking good. And now like my father-in-law, he loves Jason Statham. Like Every time he's here, he
I
watches
do
The
too.
Beekeeper. I know. I know. That's why. So like I see like the new movies that he's in, and I'm like, I can tolerate these. Like these are okay. But then some of the other ones, I'm like, huh? Like what?
Yeah, and that's kind of where I'm at. So like I don't want to
Mhm.
be there are some that I like. I have a soft spot for Jason Statham.
Yeah,
The Fast and the Furious movies are uh, in my opinion probably the closest I'm ever going to get to the feeling of a 90s action movie ever again because they're insane.
absolutely.
Um, but yeah, but a big thing that's going to come down to is an action movie is very, obviously visual independent. I think it comes down to two things that why I don't like the modern ones as much. Number one, CGI is fucking garbage.
Yes.
I mean, I watched in preparation for this last night. I was like, I'm
Mhm.
gonna get into it. I watched Terminator 2 for the first time in probably 10 years, and
Fuck.
they have some CGI, obviously, for some stuff, like with the liquid metal
Of
guy.
course. Yeah.
But everything else, if there's a truck jumping off a fucking freeway, guess what? There's a truck jumping off a fucking freeway.
Yes, there fucking is. And that's why I think I'm so excited for Twisters,
I want to see it.
because I heard that that movie is actually like a legitimate, like fun blockbuster summer movie that actually hit all the. So I'm excited, but then I'm also scared because it's the masses saying that it's good. So I'm like, okay, well,
Yeah,
we'll see.
we'll see. I mean, that
But
one
I'm
is
excited.
one. That's a perfect one for Hollywood right now because A
Mhm.
has the nostalgia attached to it, and B, kind of only way to really do a fucking tornado movie is CGI. So it's kind of I'll give it a pass on that.
Exactly.
Um, but the other thing is though that I think that the modern day movies are missing is, and I think across the board, whether it's
Yeah.
comedy, horror, maybe not horror, but comedy, action, whatever, we don't have movie stars anymore.
No, we do
Um,
not.
I mean, like mega stars,
Mhm.
like people used to like, you were sold by who was in the movie. I'm going to go see that new Tom Cruise movie. I'm going to go see the new Arnold movie. I'm going to go see the new Jean-Claude Van Damme movie.
Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, like they were legit bigger than life movie stars, and their
Yes,
personas very much showed that on screen.
absolutely.
I don't know who we have that is even fucking close to that anymore.
Like, okay, realistically, let's think of one actor that is what you would consider like someone that you've seen in an action movie recently. Well, you're gonna say Jason Statham, aren't you?
Even that, he's older though.
I know.
He's no spring chick. Here's an example I'll give it to you that I think proves that it. Do you know what's closing out the Olympic ceremonies? It was announced today.
Oh no, do I want to know?
I think it's cool, but I'm a fan of his.
Okay,
But
tell me.
um, so they do like the passing of the torch, whatever. Um, and then I think they extinguish the flame or whatever.
Yeah.
The last person who's going to get it, it's not some young, modern, young, up and coming movie star. They're going to give it to Tom Cruise, who's going to do some crazy ass stunt to extinguish the flame,
Are you
and which
serious?
I'm fucking in for because I'm a Tom Cruise fan. But it's like, again, okay, so you're telling me that the biggest action star in the world that we can produce is a 60-year-old man? Okay.
But that solidifies that we're right because there's no newer action star that could like team up with him to do it.
Yep.
Who was I gonna say? I don't even.
I know who they think it is.
Ryan Reynolds.
Even that, he's no spring chicken either.
Exactly. I know. Ryan Gosling.
I think it's that Glenn Powell guy. I think like the Twisters guy. I think that's who they think it is.
Yeah.
Because they're putting him in fucking everything. And I don't mind him. I have nothing against him, but he's in like everything now.
I don't mind him either, but that's again the actor burnout that is happening right now is that you put so many of these actors and actresses in these movies and you're only circulating these 7, and it's like after some time, because like you were saying in the 90s you had Arnold, you had Sly Stallone, you had Nick Cage, you had a plethora of Eddie Murphy, of stars that
and
could
different
be,
types of stars too. Like you just they all existed in that same realm,
but they're all
but
different.
I mean, Arnold and Sly pretty close, but like everybody else, you know, there was like the comedic ones, like Eddie, like you said, Eddie Murphy.
Yep.
You could even throw like Jackie Chan to get like, you know, the karate,
Rush Hour,
yeah,
yes.
the kung fu elements in there, and like
Mhm.
there were all different varieties of them, but they were all bigger than life.
And then you had the actresses to enhance, like Sandra Bullock, like all these like badass females that could rock an action role, and then they're in a fucking love story and a romantic comedy and a rom-com. You know what I mean? Like I just there was so many options, and like so I guess the question is Hollywood burning out and we're just overran by content creators and influencers? Is that what's happening? I feel like that could be happening.
It definitely is probably part of it. I mean, that's what, you know, but I think movies always will exist in some form. It's just,
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like a lot of the soul and the fun has been taken away from them. And
Mhm.
also, I don't know if maybe movie studios don't want to give, maybe they don't want to make these mega stars because then you get mega egos. But I'm
Right.
sorry.
Mega paychecks too.
Yeah, and mega paychecks, but I'm sorry. You know, mega egos make fucking interesting. I mean, Sly Stallone has one of the most out of his Instagram is one of my absolute favorite things on the planet because he's a fucking psychopath. But he's a psychopath who knows how to make movies and he churns them out. And whether they're good to great, they are always entertaining. I've never seen one and been like, well, that fucking was boring. Like,
You're like, wow, that was something.
yeah, I'm like,
I don't
that
know
was something.
what.
I don't know if I liked it, but it was something. Like,
And you know what? I'd rather have that than like a
he's singing with Dolly Parton. He can't sing though. Oh, well, let's make a movie about it. Okay.
that's what I mean. Like I would rather take that fucking weird ass leap towards something than the same repetitive copy and paste. Let's do this. Let's do like I'm with you.
Yeah. So I would love to see us make some new stars.
Yes.
I also just don't you and like I don't care. I am not someone who like I don't need my action stars to be of the 90s, you know, the jacked dudes.
Oh yeah.
But like why don't we have any jacked dudes anymore? like that's like I don't mean like in walking around, do what you do. I'm not a jacked dude. I don't go to the gym. Fuck that shit. But
Right.
like, why are there no like hyper masculine action like movie stars anymore? They're all like all of them are in their 50s now.
But that's what I mean. Like, okay, so you have people like Chris Evans. Like
Yeah.
he was a jacked star. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like you always knew him for like his physique. Yeah, Chris Pratt, even so much. I mean, and I know that he was overkill for you, but like I haven't seen that motherfucker in any other than voicing things. You know, I haven't seen him in like an action movie other than Jurassic Park. So like, why is he not getting casted in like these?
Guardians.
Yes, well, and I hate being like that by being like, oh well, it's Guardians, so it doesn't count. Do you know what I mean? Because that's like its whole other like
Kind of a comedy thing. Yeah.
and like it's Disney and it's Marvel. So like get him out of the realm, but put him in like these movies about like action style types and I'd maybe watch it because like I know Chris Pratt and I know that he's capable of being in these types of movies because Jurassic World he was good in.
Mhm.
The first one, like I didn't
I like
really
Jurassic World. I didn't like the other.
yes.
Well, I only saw the second one, and then I was like, I'm not watching the third one.
You will never get that time back watching the third one and I don't even know I do know how it was made because of course they added the same people from the first one and Jeff Goldblum and all and that nostalgia and then it was a turd wrapped in a bow for me.
that sounds like a movie in the 2020s. That's
Yeah.
because that's what I
know.
So I just get so sick. Like I'm so sick of movies of people telling me something is good because it has cameos and it
Mhm.
has ties into other things. Like I don't give a fuck. Like just give me a good script with some good jokes or some cool action. Like just tell a singular story that doesn't need all these extra people from other bullshit.
And then after you watch this movie, you're gonna get the prequel,
Yeah.
And then you're going to get the TV show that's the prequel of the
Yeah.
prequel.
Yeah,
And then you're going to get the family element after that. So it's like fast forward to another when they're like senior, right?
yeah.
And
And
then
then this character will show up in that guy's movie for like but only for like 60 seconds, and it will be absolutely superfluous to the plot and won't make any difference whatsoever. But
yeah,
you're supposed to go,
yeah, like because we're dancing monk.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm sick of it. Like, give me something unique. Give me a storyline that's maybe not so much believable, but like still make it good. Because there's some action movies that like were questionable with their plot and like their storyline, but they were still fun to watch. They were still entertaining. It still brought
And,
that element.
and that's one of the things that I wonder if why we don't see as many action movies nowadays. I think that in the best terms possible, and I am not a political person.
Mhm.
I don't talk, but I think that oftentimes comedies usually are done in the best vein if they are probably left leaning in their
Mhm.
sensibilities.
Yep.
They could poke fun at things like that. I
Yep.
do think action movies are a little more on the right leaning side. And like, you know, the comes down to it. I mean, what most of them are is it's a fucking it's a big muscly guy with a gun saves the day. I mean, it's
True.
like every conservative's dream.
Yes.
Like, but I think that is a area that is not that people like to avoid right now, I think.
I think yes, and I think yes. That's the
like
best way to end it is yes.
that like that's the best way I can say it without trying to provoke any sort of discussion of any sort of debate. But I do think that part of that is that like, okay, well, in the 80s and 90s, it was cool to just be like, hey, we're gonna make a movie. Who are the bad guys? China, fuck them. Like
Yeah.
now they're like, now it's like even in like Top Gun, which was my favorite action movie, the second one
Yeah.
of like the last, I don't know, 5 years. They're like, we're fighting the villains. Who are they? Well, they're definitely not the Chinese. Don't you worry about that. We're not going to say that. They're just they're
bad.
they're just the bad guys. Don't you worry about it, because they're so afraid to like
To cross that line.
to cross any line.
Yes.
Oh, but before, we would be like, all right, fucking, we're gonna go kill the Ruskies.
Yes. But that is where we are at a time where I just feel like everyone is so ballsy. I don't know where I'm going to go with this tangent, but I just feel like everyone's just so ballsy with how they act and how they treat people, and like just craziness. Like people are like, I feel like the world is unhinged right now. You know what I mean?
100%.
And it's like
it's a little bit of a powder keg right now.
it's no, it's pun intended. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. I just wish that we could go back to the time where, like, I know some things aren't acceptable like they were back in the day, or like, frowned upon, but I want it to go back to the time where entertainment was fun. I just feel like music there's a motive. There's like, it's aiming for this. Do you know what I mean? And then like these types of movies, it's aiming for this. And then it's like, it's just very yeah, very gendered, very calculated, like just, I don't know. It's such a weird time, and I can see that effect on society, entertainment, music, just everything in general. It's just it's a weird fucking time.
100%. I agree with you. And like, I think it's you get fatigued with having, everything you're consuming having some sort of agenda to push one way or the other. I think it does become tiring. I'm not so with music. First of all, I don't listen to new music, so I don't know what the fuck they're saying.
Same.
But that doesn't really bother me, because I mean, music's pretty much always been political since its inception. I mean, especially since like the 60s going forward. So I'm more used to that. But the movies, to me, that was always my escape. And like when I watched Rambo kill a bunch of motherfuckers, I was never like, that's what I want to do. Like I hope, I was just like, no, like this is just cool.
It's
like I
fun to
just,
watch.
it's a fun 90-minute watch of where I can, pretend in my head like, oh, this is the action hero, like, but in
Yes.
reality, if I saw that person, I'd be like, shoot him. He's a psychopath.
He's crazy. He's lost his goddamn mind. I
Yes.
know. It's like, that's why I feel like we've lost touch with entertainment. And I feel like as much as, I critique things and I review movies and I talk about things and, what have you, I still just wish it wasn't so picked apart and under a microscope so much, because nowadays it's so cool for someone to sit and analyze the fuck out of something and have it be something, even if it's not supposed to be. Oh, well, it's like, for a great example is Longlegs. Well, after the movie, this person wrote this whole thing like of her, what she took from it and like what it should be. And it's like, well, I can see that, but like, why does it have to be that? Like, why does it have to be, oh, well, this was a symbol of this and it's a symbol of this and a symbol of this and it's like, can we just watch it and like let our own minds like absorb it how we are? And then to have it be so like critiqued, and I just go back to the times where like you watch the TV screen and it just put a smile on your face.
Yeah, 100.
Or it evokes some sort of emotion.
I couldn't be more with you. Like, especially with movies. Like, I just, that's an escape. I don't, unless I'm watching like a fucking documentary, which I do love a documentary. I don't really need you to teach me a lesson about something. I just want to be entertained.
Thank you.
Evoke the emotion that you're trying to evoke for me, whether that's laughter, sadness, fear, whatever, if I'm watching a drama, whatever, the one thing, that I will say though, like, even I feel like movies of yesteryear were a little less heavy-handed with it. Like, I recently found out, like, have you ever seen Red Dawn?
Nope, but I know who's in that.
It's Charlie Sheen, Patrick Swayze.
Okay.
Fucking great movie. It's stupid as shit. But
it's still you love it.
Yeah, I mean it's North Korea and Russia. I think it's those. No, North Korea and Cuba. I think it is. Whatever. Who gives a shit? They invade like Montana. they parachute into Montana and take it over, and then like all the kids from that town like run to the woods and basically become like a guerrilla operation to save the town. And like kids are dying and shit. Like it's actually fairly, when you watch, I watched it out, you're like, wow, like they shot a kid. Like, but I have seen that movie so many times, and I'm always just like, oh yeah, that's just a goofy movie about kids killing, bad guys.
Yes.
And then I recently found out that like the director was like an ultra right wing, like I mean like super right wing, like to the point where he like had his like he like built like his own like compound and was like ready for war. Crazy person.
Yeah.
But and that he made that movie with the intention of being like, trying to push that agenda. But I never noticed it. Like I was like, I watched it 100 times. I never once was like, I got to get a gun. I got to go to the woods. I
got to make my checklist.
Yep.
But I love that you say that, because, and it's not that I'm trying to be like naive or that I don't get it, but like, I'm just taking the movie as it is and I'm enjoying it. Like I'm trying to have fun with it. I mean, granted, I know some movies, they're not supposed to be fun, but like, I just like Texas Chainsaw, the 2022 one that just came out. I thought that was fun and I loved it because I didn't give a fuck about the plot. It's, again, this is my tagline for this movie. It's a Texas Chainsaw movie. I don't need a heavy-handed fucking plot. I don't need to know the characters because I want them all to be killed in the most disgustingly amazing way. And the fact that they try to bring Sally back and pull a Lori. Okay, everyone's doing that. So ignore it, but just enjoy it. Like,
and they killed her, which was great.
Exactly. And people are so pissed. It's like, who gives a fuck about that?
You know me. I'm on your side with that.
Yes.
Hey, I think that the whole franchise is not as good as people say it is.
Mm-mm.
And I think that the more modern ones are better than the originals, but whatever.
Exactly, but that's what I mean. It's like, we can give TCM, the original, its flowers, because that is a staple in the
staple. Yeah.
horror community, whether you like it or not. It's like
Mhm.
one that really changed the game
Yep.
and is known. But like 2022, at least he made it fun. At least he made it pretty because the visuals in it were just like so good.
Sunflower fields and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, and the blue light of the bus. Like, remember when we saw the trailer? Like, that's so fucking cheesy. Remember, because like it was like, oh, I got you now on like the live stream or whatever. And we were
Yeah.
like, and then I ended up loving that scene. I don't know.
It's the best scene in the movie.
It is.
It's absolutely the best scene in the movie.
The kills were amazing. Like the chase scene with him with the hammer on the floor and the guy in the bedroom. Like, it was a good fucking horror movie. And the fact that I was just so blown away that people were like going out of their way to like let the director know it sucked. It's like, what are you like? Can you just sit back and have fun?
Yeah, that to me, that's a perfect example of,
Yes.
did you need it to be deeper than that? It's a fucking movie about a guy who wears someone else's face.
I know,
So like,
what depth do you fucking need?
also,
Exactly.
have you seen the other ones? Because they go off the rails pretty quick. I mean,
Two.
literally number
Hello.
2 is
Yeah.
like, it's Dennis Hopper running around with having chainsaw fights. Like, what do you?
And
Oh,
Leatherface,
that was a real deep movie.
Leatherface getting off for the first time, like
Yeah, like fucking the.
yes, which I think is a great scene. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, for people to be so upset that it took that turn, and you have these other ones to go off of, it's like the audacity. I don't know. I don't mean to tangent off the point, but the point is people need to start enjoying more. Maybe stop letterboxing so much and being super like fucking proficient on exactly how you feel. Like, just let people enjoy shit and like yourself. Let go and
And that's
enjoy.
what I'll say. What I like about our show, and I'm not critiquing anyone else's show. I
Yes.
mean, I love we have tons of friends who do different things, but
Yes.
I am glad that we did not decide on a format where it's like we're going to break it down scene by scene. I'm going to give it 6 points for themes, 7. You and I are just like, did we like it? Like, was it fun? Like, what
Are we gonna
was
watch it
good?
again?
What was good about it? What was bad about it? Like, what parts made us laugh? What parts,
Yeah.
what parts were so stupid that we had fun with them? Like, I feel like you and I, we talk about the product as from it just as a film, just as a basic form of entertainment, not something that's supposed to teach us wrong from right.
Because you and I grew up on these movies that like we loved what we were shown, and like our love for movies and entertainment just it was fueled from the get-go. And I don't think I've lost sight of that, because I love going to the movies. I love watching new movies. I love watching Late Night with the Devil every week. Like, I just love things that make me happy. And I take it and I embrace it, because that's who I am. I'm not going to sit here and be like, I'm going to watch every single horror movie of 2024 and I'm going to critique it and try to persuade you to like I don't
not like.
Yeah, it's just weird to me. And okay, so this is a good lead in to action. So I watched an action movie, one that was very critically acclaimed and hyped up, Civil War.
Oh, the one with Kirsten Dunst?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, did you watch that?
I did not, because it looks extremely political, and I feel like I have enough of that in my life, just
By existing?
everywhere.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I was like, I think I'm good.
I was excited. I was like, okay, I hope this is like a good action movie. And then people were like, oh, there's this scene, of course, in every movie, there's this scene that completely just, and people are like making me like, okay, if there's going to be risks taken and like kids being killed, cool. Like, maybe that will, whatever. So I'm not going to spoil anything, but
I'm not going to watch it. So don't worry, you spoil away. That seems, we're living that right now. I don't need to fucking see it on TV.
I watched the scene and I was like my heart started racing a little bit when I thought things were going to happen. And then when everything did happen, I'm like, wait, Is that the scene that everyone is
What
fucking
happened?
talking about? Because
Just say it. Spoiler alert here for I'm not gonna watch it. So what happened?
so it was the scene where like they get pulled over by like the militant people or whatever, and I thought it was going to be the girl that was following Kirsten Dunst because she's like a very important news reporter, and so they're trying to get the shot of Nick Offerman because he like the
Ah,
states were dividing and all this stuff, and Nick
I did
Offerman's
not know old Ron Swanson was in it.
over on SWAT. Oh, but he doesn't have his beard. So that kind of made me really, it took me out of like the political, like authoritative figure because we all know Ron Swanson has a badass fucking mustache.
Yeah, mustache. I want a full mustache, or I want him with the big beard he had in Last of Us.
Yes, I want a mustache ride from him. Anyway, but, so like it was just weird because I was shush. I was so happy.
Just think, have you seen Super Troopers?
That's what I got it from. Yeah.
Who wants a mustache ride? I do. I do.
I do because that's if he was offering them, I'd be like,
All right.
let me get my ticket real quick. But anyway, I thought that it was going to be great. I love Kirsten Dunst. I always have loved her. I think she's a great actress. But this film was hyped up so fucking much. And then when we got done with it, Greg and I were like, that was kind of like boring. There was beautiful shots though. I can't remember the guy's name that directed it. Fuck. But like there's some scenes, some like, and no one was speaking. It was just music. And then after like something would happen, like I remember there's like embers in the air and the one guy got shot and he was like hanging out the door. It was beautifully shot, but it was like a music montage. So it wasn't like anything was really happening. Those were like my favorite parts of the movie was just the visuals of the intro or like the what am I trying to say? The
Like the beginning, like the
montages
credits.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Yes. That was the only thing I liked. But everyone has said it was like it was one of the best movies they've ever seen. It affected them. And I'm like, the only thing it affected me to do is to turn on something I've seen 10 times because I wasted 2.5 hours of my fucking
Late Night with the Devil.
I think I did.
Yeah, I just it didn't pique my interest. My best friend saw it and he saw it
What'd
in
he say?
theaters and
Yeah.
he was so like I thought it was going to be like more like about like actual fighting and he's like
Yes.
as opposed to like it's really more about like journalism and he's like so like it's not really what you thought it was going to be. So
And that's the one thing I wanted to say. I'm not like shitting on journalists because I understand like, you know, they risk their fucking lives all the time for news. And I'm not but like again, if you're going to have something so serious as that, make it entertaining instead of making it like just more bleak and sad than the state of the world. Do you know what I'm saying? Like all this shit's happening in the world. I want to escape it. I want to go to a place where like, okay, this could be a political movie because there's a White House and there's a president, Nick Offerman, the mustache dude that I want to ride. But like, you know what I mean? Like I give us like a fun story and give us an actual fight instead of it being like, these journalists, this is what they do and this is what happens all the time and they get killed and they sacrifice. I know this, but like can we make it
entertaining
because if not I would have just assumed it'd be a documentary.
yeah, like again, that's why I like that movie to me just 100%. Like I was like, it's everything that I think I just kind of have been rallying against on this episode. Like I want escapism that didn't look to be escapism. That looks to be a movie that's taking our current political climate and making a statement about it. Well, I understand that. And I understand that, you know, things, maybe that's interesting to some people.
Exactly.
I see enough of that shit every goddamn day on TV and relatives fighting with each other. And I am like, I would have rather just if that movie had been like Red Dawn and it's just, you know, side A versus side B and just like, you know, and just shit's blowing up. That would be more entertaining to me than the reality aspect that it sounds like they went for, and I
Yep.
have no interest in it.
And that's exactly because your friend was right. I thought it was going to be like this war movie. I thought it was going to be like an action-y war movie, and I was like in the mood for it. I'm like, okay, like I could get down with that. And then it was just a super serious movie about journalism and the severity of it. And I understand that that's a real thing, but again, I want entertainment. I want a story that's not fucking real to keep me entertained for an hour and a half, so I could be like, wow, that sequence was cool. That actor's cool. This line happened, and recite it. Like, I don't know. It's
And
just
you can tell serious stories and make them entertaining. Like I made a list of just like I was just off the top.
yeah. Oh.
All right. Well, I don't know what that was.
Wow.
They're coming for me.
I was gonna say, are we gonna start like late night with a deviling, and then all of a sudden, like this light's gonna burst, and then
both my lights just went out. All right, that's weird.
oh.
Anyway, I wrote down just like a list of just movies off the top of my head that I'm like, these are all great. And like when you're describing like, oh, like a reality movie or a movie that's telling like a serious story, but it can be entertaining. Like Braveheart. Like Braveheart's a fucking awesome movie.
Thank you. And it's super fucking serious
and bleak, and you're sad at the end. Like,
but it's a good fucking movie.
Yes, it's entertaining. Like, it wasn't just, I mean, granted, Mel Gibson, psychopath, but,
yep.
But again, psychopath who knows how to make a movie.
Yes. And thank you for that, because like Mel Gibson's entertaining. Forever Young. Hello.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Forever Young.
Lethal Weapon. I mean, like Mel Gibson is one of those fucking ones where I'm like, oh, you son of a bitch. Why did you have to be like, just keep your crazy shit to yourself?
Yes.
And we think about all the good movies we probably missed out on, because the dude was cranking out hits left and right, and then flushed it all down the toilet.
Absolutely, because you know what? It goes right back to what we were talking about in the beginning. Big ego.
Oh yeah.
Because he's Mel Gibson, and he, you know what I mean? Like, he feels this entitlement of like, well, I can be fucking flat out crazy, and I can say whatever the fuck I want, and I can because I'm Mel Gibson. It's like, well, no, you really can't, you motherfucker. Just because you entertained us for 20 plus years doesn't not give you the right to.
He may have one of the most like the biggest ego, or at the time had the biggest egos around, like, and almost I don't want to say deservedly so, but like, you think about it, that dude was like, he fresh out of college, acting school.
Yeah.
He immediately makes Mad Max, comes to the States, immediately gets a big contract with a company, starts making movies, immediately starts making hit movies, and he never stopped until his craziness came out. So like, it's kind of a shock that he's was even remotely close to normal for as long as he was.
I have to agree, but I love that you brought up Braveheart, because yes, it's a very bleak story, sad, but like, again, happy that we have it, because it's entertaining. It's iconic.
I think it's one of the best war movies ever made, particularly for that style, like sword and shields and shit. Yep. I don't think you can get a better action scenes. Holy shit, they're awesome. Like I sometimes will just like when I'm out in the garage having my drinking night, I'll literally I'll put YouTube on and I'll just put the fight scenes on and like just watch the fight scenes because they're so awesome.
I love that you do that, because I love seeing those scenes. And the one, okay, so you say Braveheart, I will say one of my favorite, and it's a Marvel movie, but it's further back to being like this, for me, the safe zone, because I think it's a good one. But like Captain America Winter Soldier, when they introduced Bucky.
Yeah.
Okay, the scene where Sam Jackson is fucking driving down the street and then Bucky's right there, and it's just like slow-mos, and then he fucking just goes, and it's that whole sequence. Oh, I'm getting goosebumps right now. When I watch that scene, I get so fucking hyped up, because it's to me perfection. Like, when we were in the theater, I had my hands like gripped this tight. I had nail imprints, because it was such an intense scene. When it was done, Greg and I looked at each other. I was like, holy fuck. Like, it still gets me hyped thinking about it.
Well, so here, I obviously take every opportunity I can to shit on Marvel movies, but
Yes.
deservedly, I mean, I will give them their flowers when they're earned. I think that pretty unequivocally, Winter Soldier is regarded as the best one.
Yes.
And also that was made by the Russo brothers, who
Yes.
are sort of they became like the go-to Marvel guys, who are they once again are now. It seems like they're a little desperate because they're running right back to him. They say, "Hey, would you please direct our next movie?"
Yeah, and then they're biting at the chomps to do
2 fucking movies with Robert Downey Jr. Oh my god.
yes, I know. And like, okay, so while we're on Marvel, so I think because I had another one that was like actiony and it for me, in my opinion, Infinity War or no,
Jordan, I'm listening. I'm just gonna turn the light on real quick because it's
yes, of
fucking
course.
dark now.
That was so weird that it turned off.
Yeah, very strange. I have no idea what happened.
Very creepy, but we were matching now with our colors.
What the fuck?
What happened?
Holy shit! What the fuck just happened?
What happened?
That's impossible.
What? Is it something scary?
Sorry about that. That's spooky.
What happened?
So I have like I have like a little a ring light, and then I also have a uh like a they call it a key light. It's just another light.
Yeah.
They're both USB, and I have a like a power strip,
Yeah.
and the USBs plug right into them, and they're both unplugged. Like it didn't like just turn off. Like the plugs came like they're not plugged in anymore.
And you were sitting there the whole fucking time?
Yeah, and as far as I'm aware, unless I wasn't paying attention, Ripley's sitting right here on the couch next to me. So that's very strange.
I'm freaked out.
A little strange.
What?
Yeah, like they were like fully removed. Like
Sam, what is Deanna fucking with you?
I'm in a room with the door closed. Like
We need to clip this for our preview because that's fucking terrifying.
it's very strange. I'll take pictures of it and show you what I mean, but that's very weird.
I believe you because when you were like, I could hear the tone of your voice, I was like, what happened?
Yeah, it's very, very odd. I've never had anything like that happen in here here before. Whatever.
That just gave me cold chills. Ew. I would have
got a ghosty here. I don't know.
Did we catch it on? Oh my god, we really pissed off Billy Loomis. He's coming back from the fucking
He's coming
grave.
back with his aged ghost, right? You know, because ghosts age.
He's still in his white shirt and his jeans, so of course.
He's still dressed like he's 18, but he looks 50. I don't know why. Just
so
he died when he was 18, but he's 50. All right, don't worry about it. Just keep moving.
The plug thing is, I'm really hung up on that right now, but we'll move along.
Yeah. So, I mean, back to action movies. I mean, specifically, it's just I mean, I could go through just there's a ton of them. I mean, you got the late 90s with you know Nick Cage, and obviously I showed you the Con Air fucking picture, so you know my thoughts on that one.
Yes.
Which that movie was fucking insane. I mean, a lot of these movies were fueled by cocaine as well, which I think that's a part that's missing.
The 80s, late 80s, well, even so far as the early 80s, like the whole 80s in general, early 90s, like like coke fueled.
Oh yeah, that was now everybody's like on edibles and like chilled out. So I think we need to amp it up, baby.
It shifted. It's been
now everybody's like, you know what? I don't want to fucking do the stunt. Let's just make the computer do it, bro.
Here, hit this bong again.
I don't know. Like, I mean, there's not. I don't know if I really want to get into like specific movies. You know, but like. Again, you have obviously your big classic ones like with Arnold Schwarzenegger, Stallone, Jean-Claude Van Damme, who is I never was a Jean-Claude Van Damme guy when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But I, in recent years, have absolutely fallen in love with him because he's a fucking psycho.
I think that's like the common trend with all these like solidified action stars is that they're batshit fucking crazy.
Oh yeah, I I've been watching like old interviews like with him on like the like Jay Leno and shit, and it's always crazy, like the shit that's coming out of his mouth. Like he like openly was talking shit about his movies. There's one where he's like he was in oh my god, I think it's called Sudden Death. It's a movie where he's a fucking goalie for a hockey team, and he shoots people. I don't fucking know. Not a good movie, but he's like, hey, hey, Jean, you're doing a new movie. It's with a new company you haven't worked with before. He's like, yes, I did. All movies I did before were B movies. This is a real movie. All my movies before were not very good.
He was
asshole.
You're like, dude, shush.
So I love JCVD. He's crazy. Chuck Norris, great. Steven Seagal is just a fat asshole, but he's so fun.
I remember him being like the face of action. Like those were when I was younger. Jean-Claude Van Damme, Steven Seagal, all like Mel Gibson were the action-packed men that starred in all these movies.
Oh yeah, and talk about egos, like Seagal. Holy shit! There's so first of all, assault cases as well.
Oh yeah,
but like he has it in his contract that he can't die in any movie. So he's only died in 2 movies ever. He died in Executive Decision because his career was kind of starting to stall a little bit. So he got to be the supporting actor in that one. Okay. That's the only movie he was ever killed by another person in. But technically, it's Executive Decision is actually a really great movie. It's a Kurt Russell plane movie, terrorists on a plane.
I remember that one. That one scared. Yes, that one scared me because wasn't there like a really nasty death on the plane or something?
I mean, Kurt Russell shoots a lot of people.
Okay, because I remember like I saw my mom was watching it. And I remember I like sat and watched some of it, and I was like, "Oh my god!" Because some of the action back in the day could even like resemble like a horror kill. Like what's his name? In Speed at the end when he gets fucking his head chopped by the.
Speed is so good.
Yes, I love Speed.
But so just to finish the Steven Seagal insanity. Yeah. So he let himself get killed in Executive Decision, which he argues he didn't die in that movie. Because he blows up in the movie, his plane blows up, and he's arguing
he lived.
He is post said, actually, my character lived, and they're like, and the writer was like, no, he didn't, and he's like, yeah, they never showed his body, so he didn't die.
What a dink.
This goes on to when they finally made Machete, with Danny Trejo.
Oh yes,
Steven Seagal's the bad guy in that movie. He had it written that, again, in his contract, he cannot be killed in a movie. It's literally in his contract. So Robert Rodriguez had to change the role so that the only person who can kill Steven Seagal is Steven Seagal. So Steven Seagal kills himself at the end of the movie.
Oh my! I was going to say we saw Machete in theaters, and I don't remember that.
He literally is just like, "You have bested me," and then fucking stabs himself.
My God. What the most stubborn fucking person ever. I love that. And then I love how he argues with the writer when I didn't die.
Dude, he's so. Did you ever watch his TV show? It was called Steven Seagal Lawman.
Oh God, no.
he was a cop, like it was a reality show. He was like a cop, like, and he would arrest people in New Orleans. Like he was, I guess, an actual cop. I don't know how it worked.
Or did he write that in his contract? He had pretended to be a cop.
And he might have, who knows? But like he rode around with them and he like did cop stuff, which is like insane because I remember like Tom Segura, who you're a fan of, he does a joke about it. He's like, could you imagine you're drunk and you're fucking driving home and you're getting a DUI and you get pulled over and Steven fucking Seagal is the one arresting you? You'd be like, what the fuck is happening?
I would be like, am I in a movie? Am I getting punked?
Oh, I could go on. I know so much about Seagal. It's unbelievable. You could, if you watch, Putin loves him.
Well,
and you could watch his, if you want to have a good laugh, just Google Steven Seagal, fight demonstration, Russia. It's amazing. Putin had him come train the like elite Russian troops, but he's so fat and out of shape.
Yeah,
and
I was gonna say, is he
it
like...
looks like he's dancing with them.
Okay, after we get done recording, I am going to smoke a joint and I'm gonna totally Google that and watch that. Because something tells me I'm gonna be fucking dying.
Okay. Yeah, so that's my little rant there. I could go on there. And then the last thing I wrote for a note here is the one thing when I was going through all these and I was like, I had to make a special note.
Mm-hmm.
RoboCop is a fucking perfect movie. I will
Okay.
say that.
Okay.
RoboCop is a 10 out of 10, one of the best movies ever made. I think it is, if you are going to be doing a Mount Rushmore of action movies,
Mm-hmm.
I think it is deservedly on that mountain, and I will die on that hill.
So I will admit, I do not have enough of an opinion to say so, because I know I watched it, but I don't really remember anything from it. But since it is Action August and we are going to do little videos and stuff like that, I will watch it. And
I
then
think you would enjoy it. It's quite fun.
you know what we should do? This is just like an on-air thought, because you are so well vested in action. You should give me like, I know that you gave me Crank to watch. Yes,
Yeah.
Crank. You should give me like your top, you said Mount Rushmore, 4 action movies. Okay.
Okay.
And then I watch them and then I can give a review on them.
Let's not, because that's a lot of time.
Yeah.
But
still.
I think at the very minimum,
Okay.
I threw my chips down and saying how much I love RoboCop.
So want me to do that one?
I think you should do RoboCop. I believe it is streaming on HBO, I believe.
Okay.
I think all of them are, but you don't need to watch the others.
Oh, there's multiple.
So there's RoboCop 1, 2, and 3, and then I think there's a TV movie, and a TV series, and then a fucking terrible remake from like 2015.
Okay, well, definitely will be avoiding that remake, but I will do RoboCop, and then I will do a review on it, because if you're stating that it is a 10 out of 10, I need to see it.
I can't wait for you to just see who the villain is.
Oh, I'm excited.
It's somebody you would be like, really? That's the villain? And then you're like, oh shit, they're fucking evil. Can I tell you who it is?
No, I want to.
Okay.
Wait.
Like, it doesn't spoil anything. It's not oh, I don't know who the villain is. Like, it's pretty clear they're the villain from the beginning. It's an actor that, like, when I tell you it, you're probably going to be like, huh?
Give me a hint to see if I can guess it before you tell me.
TV show?
Man or woman?
Man.
Tim Allen?
No. Bald.
TV show, bald. Give me one more hint.
70s.
I don't. Tell me. Who is it?
It's Red from that 70s show.
I was literally going. I was about to say, because I just thought of him.
It's Red, and he looks exactly like Red. That's a man who, when he was born, he was 50.
He came out of the womb looking pissed off like Red.
And he's such a piece of shit in the movie. It's awesome.
Okay. I am fucking sold. Okay. I'm excited. And I'm sure Greg will be excited. And then maybe I can get Roz to watch it.
Yeah. I think it'd be okay for a kid. There is a scene with like boobs. Other than that, it's a lot of violence. I'll say that.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm intrigued. I'm excited. And again, for you to have the SAM seal of approval, the SSA, I'm excited. So that will be one of the videos that I create for our content.
I'm excited to hear your thoughts on it.
Good. I'm happy too.
But
I mean, for me, for my action movies that I thought of, I don't know if they're technically like action-y, but like I loved Dick Tracy because I felt like that one was like gangster action.
Gangsters are, I consider gangster action movies.
Yes. And then for me, like, oh my God, Boondock Saints is a good, like, I don't know.
Charlie Bronson's got the fucking rope.
Dude, that fucking movie, I was obsessed with it for like a year, like a couple year span, and I
I
still
think
think it's
everybody was. Everybody went through that phase.
yes, but it's such a fucking like classic movie. I just love it so much. But like I'm like Demolition Man, like all the 90s.
Fuck yeah, Demolition Man is one of my all-time favorite. Like, they wouldn't be on Mount Rushmore, but like as a kid,
Yeah.
loved it.
Yeah, and
Loved
that's
it.
I remember it from being a kid and I was like, "Oh my god," like I loved it. Speed, like I love Keanu Reeves. He's like a good guy.
Oh
Like
yeah.
he's a good like an actor that is a genuinely good person. And
Oh
I
yeah,
just
there's not a ton of them. And in Speed, I'm
exactly.
not. Let's be real here. In Speed, that's a hunk and a half.
Uh-uh. Him and Sandra Bullock is some of the best on-screen chemistry. And Speed was just one of those far-fetched movies, but it made sense. It was cohesive. The action was great. The suspense, everything about that movie, I loved.
It's an awesome movie, and then the terrible sequel. But yeah,
Yes, because I remember that went to the water.
yeah. And then they did rekindle the chemistry like 20 years later, and they made The Lake House, which is one of the most fucking confusing movies I've ever seen in my life.
Yes, and then they also admittedly on a talk show, didn't they both admit they had crushes on each other?
I think so. Yes, I think
And
they said at different times they had crushes on each other.
that's a love that I wanted to see. I
Yeah.
love them together in
Oh,
Speed.
I do too. Like I own The Lake House. It is. I think you could write a thesis on how it doesn't make sense in any sense of the word. It's literally, I think, the most confusing movie ever made. But I love it
Well, see,
because of them, because of their chemistry.
I didn't know I didn't know what the lake house was.
Oh,
I've heard of it, but I never knew what the lake house was.
okay. So let me. I'm going to give you a premise here, and you just tell me what you think base problems might be.
Okay.
Keanu Reeves builds a house in
Okay.
by the lake, and there's a mailbox in the front of the house. The mailbox is a portal through time. Anything that goes into the mailbox comes out 7 years later.
Okay.
So Sandra Bullock is in the future 7 years living in his house.
Okay.
And he's 7 years in the past living in the house, and they start writing letters to each other through the mailbox, and they fall in love through the mailbox. Yet also, while this is going on, can't stop bumping into each other in actual reality and know for a fact that they are the people that they are talking to in the letters.
So they're trying to make it like these two worlds exist in the same existence, but 7 years apart, and then they're actually physically together, but they shouldn't be, and they are aware that they are 7 years apart. But I feel like I'm bringing a plane in.
Yeah,
Like,
and
okay.
like there's a big one here. So Keanu is aware of who she is because he's in the past, so
Okay.
he knows her, he knows that she's not aware of him, but at any time he could just pick up a fucking phone and be like, "Hey, how you doing? You want to get some coffee sometime or something?"
Instead of us sending this letter through this portal,
she makes him wait 7 years. She's like, "Meet me at the cross. Meet me at this spot in 7 years from now, and we'll be together forever."
OMG.
Nuts.
I cannot. Is it a rom-com?
No. I mean, there's probably some comedy spots. I will be honest with you. It's because of it will break your brain when you watch it, trying to be like, well, wait. How does that happen?
Yeah.
That doesn't make like at one point he plants a tree in the middle of her, like where her apartment is going to be. So she wakes up the next day and there's like a tree in her apartment. And it's fucking crazy. If you want to have take an edible and try and make sense of that movie,
okay,
that would be a fun time.
Don't even, because that sounds like a good ass time. Don't give me a questionable movie and an edible, and I'll eat that shit up. I.e. Eraserhead. Hello.
Oh yeah, well, and you're still trying to make sense of that one.
I still want to watch it.
What does the radiator mean?
That you need to watch that again, so we can have a discussion on that
I
too.
could do that if you want. If you're getting homework for RoboCop, I could watch Eraserhead.
Okay, let's do that, and we'll do a swap. So we'll do
Okay.
yes, I love
All right.
that.
I
Okay,
could watch Eraserhead. I am off tomorrow, so I could do it as early as tomorrow.
fuck yeah, and I don't have to. Well, I have things at 10:30 in the morning, but I get to sleep until at least like 8 tomorrow. That's a fucking win for me because every morning it's 5:50. So give me 3
Jesus
extra hours. Yeah, I know. I know. Well, it's, for me, it's like, do I suck it up because I work from home? So I literally just come down in my pajamas and sit here. So I'm like half awake and I do my thing and I'm out by 3:30. So I'd rather go in early than later, but still I'm sleepy. I'm tired.
I understand that would throw me off completely, but
Yes.
so we went on some big tangents there at the end. That's the name for the show.
It is. And
I did not think during Action August I would be giving you a comprehensive breakdown of the Lake House, but
here we are. And you know what? It makes sense. We should do a connect the dots in one of our episodes to be like, what led us to this conversation to this conversation? But this felt really good. I'm happy to be back and I'm happy to be chatting with you for almost 2.5 hours. I feel like an episode for us could almost go like 5 if we wanted to, but
yeah.
This felt good. And I feel like this is going to be good coming back. And
I think this will be a good format to ease off here. So,
yes.
Guys, thank you for listening. Do all the stuff you do for the podcast, like, rate, blah, 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 all that stuff. You know what to do. You've listened to podcasts before.
You better do it.
Other than that, I don't really have anything to plug or anything, except that I do want to plug my good friend Jordana is definitely going to be interviewing David Howard Thornton. So be on the lookout for that. Because
in 7 years, it's gonna be like the Lake House. I'm gonna send him a letter. David, meet me here.
Just pick up the phone, David. Other than that, I got nothing.
I mean, Core 4, we're doing our thing. There's that. Me, I'm just kind of waiting to jump. I haven't put out an episode in months. So
actually, I do got one thing to plug. I should say, I do a second podcast with my buddy Ryan. We talk wrestling. So if you're wrestling fans, check out Below the Belt Wrestling Show. I'm gonna try and be more active on the Instagram. I'll plug it on our page at some point. But if you are a wrestling fan, whether it's WWE or AEW, you might like listening to it. He's an AEW fan. I'm a WWE fan. So we fucking hate each other. So if that sounds interesting to you, go ahead and give it a subscribe.
Yes. I love that.
All right. Other than that, I think that's going to do it.
Yes, guys. And it was fun. And take care. And we'll see you next time.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.